Hey, resellers! We're so excited to join you guys tonight. I'm especially excited because I've really missed you guys. Obviously, Friday 2 weeks ago was on Christmas Eve, and I'm pretty sure you'd all like to spend that night with your families. Although we kind of feel like family, I felt like that was more important to just cancel the show. And then last week was New Year's Eve, and you might not have wanted to party with me on YouTube. So this is the first show in 3 weeks then. So I thought we would kick off 2022 in a big, big way. I'm so excited to have Dalton of Dealing with Dalton with me. And I'm hoping that some of you guys maybe, if you've been sleeping under a rock and you're not familiar with Dalton, then you will get familiar with him tonight and the type of merchandise that he sells. And I have linked his store also in the chat. So any mods that are in the chat, feel free to drop that as often as you'd like to send people over to Dalton's channel as well. But as much as he is active on YouTube, he is even more active over on Instagram. If you have seen him, I would probably dub you like the king of reels.
I appreciate that.
Is that a fair title?
I'll take the title. That's okay.
So maybe explain to people that haven't seen your Instagram what that's all about.
So with my reels, 90% of them are less educational because I feel like we get education thrown at us with all these different resellers on social media. They're just more fun. I'm sure you've seen reels if you're active on Instagram. So I'm just taking sounds and applying them to reselling in a funny and kind of lighthearted way and just trying to make people smile while they're scrolling through Instagram.
It's super entertaining. I'm always really appreciative when I see your reels for sure. But can you go ahead and tell folks in the chat, just to kind of give them, that brief rundown introduction to who you are and exactly what it is that you do. And I think before you say this, I'm pretty sure that I misspoke and I might have turned out to be a little clickbaity on accident when I said that you only sell on Poshmark. I feel like I should correct that because you have added Mercari and Facebook, right? Or Mercari and eBay?
Correct. Yes. So I'll go ahead. I was going to correct you on that. I sell 100% shoes. So you're correct on that. Mainly used shoes that I get from thrift stores, flea markets, those kind of sources. And I do mainly sell on Poshmark. So you were pretty correct, but I also sell on eBay and Mercari. I did try out Facebook Marketplace, but I just wasn't seeing the results that justified the extra listing. So I cut that one and I do mainly just focus on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari.
Awesome. And so I told my son that he needs to be watching tonight because he's really into flipping shoes. And I was like, well, Dello, my guest tonight only does shoes and they are all thrift store shoes. This is a business model that I feel like a lot of people could do if they'll listen to your advice. Let's say hi to some people in the chat before we get into the meat and potatoes tonight. Jennifer Hayes is here. I'm so glad to see you, Jennifer. Nikki and Gary are here, and they had a quick question that I addressed earlier in the chat. You guys let me know in the chat, in the conversation there, if you disagree with the advice I gave them. They said, do we bother getting a neutral feedback removed? The buyer admitted it was her mistake. And my advice to them was that it doesn't affect your seller rating, but the seller or the buyer rather still could do a feedback revision since they said that it was, an erroneous feedback. So you could ask them, but it's not going to affect your percentage, but buyers do still see it. Do you think that's good advice, Dalton?
Yeah, I agree. One of my goals for 2022 is start taking eBay more seriously than I did in terms of like responding to questions and doing all the things that help the eBay algorithm. So I'm not 100% sure if it is beneficial to get it removed, but I don't. I also am kind of lazy when it comes to getting negative feedback removed because one negative feedback only drops you down to like 99.6. And I think I have 9.6. So I'm not sure if it's going to benefit you, but at the moment, no, I don't bother with neutral.
Matt is here also. So hello, Matt. And look at this guy. Drew Strickland's here. I'm so happy to see him. What would my life be if Drew didn't chime in here? He said it's the greatest show on YouTube. I'm so excited to even say that. Eric Hughes is here. Boldly Grow Pickers. Tracy, who is, well, I may as well just tell you guys, going to be my guest next week, 1987 Ventures. You heard it here first. Hello. I hope she's feeling better. She was kind of under the weather. Kelsey is here. And let's see, Adam's exploits. I was just on Adam's show on Wednesday. If you guys didn't check that, check the replay because I got super motivational over there. And I felt like I was half cheerleading, half preaching to people. So I loved it. Asterix, and I always wonder if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm super glad to see you. And Jesse Shops is here. These people all came to see you, Dalton.
I appreciate you guys being here.
Adam is here, Pittsburgh Picker. Oh, Drew says, let's go. I tried to say that in my Drew voice. Let's see. Trevor from 10th Street Market is here. Super glad to see you. Drew said he's just here to troll you tonight, though.
Yeah, I can tell by you're not completely caught up in the.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I've seen every single one of his troll comments. He's going in.
Let's see here. Elder. I always say this wrong. El Lidro Vintage. Hi, Rachel and Dalton. He said your reels are cringy. They are so not.
Yeah,
he was in the last one, so. Zach Utah Bought and Gone is here. OG and Z, thank you so much for the super chat. You are awesome. I really appreciate that. Oh, yes, I brought a heavy hitter tonight. Somebody that's going to educate us and do it in an entertaining way, which is.
I do my best.
I mean, that's what we all need. Jimmy is here as well, and we have Amy Liz from Tennessee. He's calling you Ryan Gosling.
That's one. I get 3. It's Chris Evans, Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Gosling every now and then.
That's so funny. WEW, sorry I'm late to the show. Traffic was a mess. We're just glad you're here. We just started. I wonder what your bad is for this week. Oh, you mean in reference to my video? Yeah, I might talk about that actually. I was talking to Dalton earlier and I said my bad might be being cussed out on YouTube today for smiling. Santa Claus is here. I was going to correct you on that. I had to say it before you could. My dad's here and my mom's here. Hi, parents. And Haley is here, you guys. Nick Rowe is here, stopping in to say hello. Carla, guys, I'm going to be saying hi to everyone if I don't jump to the bottom. I'm going to, I'll be stuck in the chat for a little while, won't I? Ellen and Michelle are here. James Weber. Also, Dalton needs some help in the disc golf category. Dalton, are you?
I've been practicing, but it's not really paying off much.
I should go disc golf with you guys so that you know what bad really looks like. It is tragic.
For some reason, I'm absolutely terrible on the first 9 holes, and then I kind of pick it up on the last 9, but yeah, I'm not the best.
Mine is laughable. Like the next time that we take those little Frisbees out and try to do something, I should record it. It's tragic. If anyone else ever shows up, like disc golf is not big around here, so nobody's ever out there. But if they show up, I'm like, please just play right around us because I would never want someone to have to wait on me.
Since we got Josh, Harry Tornado in the chat, I got a funny story. We went and played disc golf the other day, and I'm so bad at disc golf, I literally hit him on the forehead with the disc. And I felt pretty terrible about that.
I would probably do something like that. James Weber said it's his first time catching the chat. Ginger Marvin is here. Hello, Ginger. And Hildy is here. I'm gonna try to scoot down here really quickly. The rural squirrel is here. That's a tongue twister. Try to say that 3 times fast.
I can't even say it 1 time. The rural squirrel.
Right? I can't either. The Hoogs are here. Harry Tornado is here. Hey, Josh. I'm just gonna scroll down. I'm sorry if I'm skipping over anyone. I have to go back up though and say hi to Angelo because I saw Angelo. Ben Vaughn is here. Hello, Ben. Josh says, I love when Dalton posts a package stack pic with a quote about how dumb package stack pics are.
It's my thing. # corny package picture.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna scroll to the bottom. I'm sorry if I missed anything, so that when you guys are saying things relevant to the chat, I'm not gonna miss it. So shout out real quick to Chase Dreaming on a Budget because I have the shirt that he sent me on tonight. I was so excited to see those in the mail. Oh, and to my dad because I'm drinking out of my new favorite cup. Look at this. He used a sublimation printer to print this. So it's got glitter all over it. And it says, treat your business like your business.
That's awesome.
Because that's kind of like, that's my slogan. That's my catchphrase. So I'm drinking out of that tonight. Anna's here also. Okay, so Dalton, before we get into good, bad, and ugly, like why specifically, and I know you've answered this before, but I know a lot of people are probably wondering, so I'm going to save them from having to ask, why do you specifically sell shoes?
So I guess I can go all the way back to the first time I tried to go full time. I used to be an everything seller, and I tried to go full time kind of just on a whim, and that worked out for like 2 months before my funds were about dried up. So I went and got a part time job and tried to figure things out. And my problem when I went for full time the first time is I didn't have a real budget lined out. And what I really like about selling in one category is you can average everything out a lot easier than if you're selling in a bunch of different categories. So if I'm writing out a budget for the week, I can say I need to pick up 70 pairs of shoes. So I can list 10 per day. And I know I pay on average $10 per pair. So I need to budget $700 per week to thrift with. When if you're selling in a bunch of different categories, you never really know what you're going to run into. You don't know what you're going to need to pay up for. With shoes, I know I'm always going to, on average, pay $10, and on average, I'm always going to sell them for $30 after shipping and fees. And then that also leads into like I'm doing everything the exact same over and over. Like I'm not having to find boxes to ship out.
Like that's so daily refinement of you.
yeah, that's one thing I really agree with him on that. I like creating those systems and having like the same photo setup. Like I don't have to, like if I get something really big in that doesn't fit on my photo setup, like everything is set up for shoes, and it just makes everything more streamlined.
I'm sure listing just goes so quickly when you're, because when I'm bulk listing things, I'm like, I'm going to do 50 things today. I try to pull out like similar categories of things and like pile those up, and okay, I'm going to do all the pictures, and then I'm going to do all the hats. And so if that's all you do, then even your picture taking has to be just a breeze.
Yeah, 100%.
$10 isn't bad to pay for used shoes, but I really like that you're not trying to get rich off a pair of shoes, because like sometimes I'll walk into a thrift store and I'm like, Rachel, don't pick it up if you can't sell it for $50, or don't pick it up if you can't sell it for $100. And like, you're still making very good money doing this. And there's so much efficiency to it that you probably are having a lot more time. I know you said that was kind of one of your resolutions this year, is to have more free time and like be more focused with your time and your time management too, right?
100%. It's easy when you set those listing goals and you only try to source 1 or 2 days a week. It's easy to let those shoes sit and only clean them as you go. And like if I only need to list 10 shoes today, it's easy to be lazy today since I got my listings done, and then I wake up tomorrow and it's like, crap, I need to clean 10 pairs. I need to photograph 10 pairs. I really want to get focused on when I sit down to clean, I want to clean everything. When I sit down to photograph, I want to photograph everything. So that way, when it comes to my listing goal, it's the first thing I do in the morning. I've already got them photographed, list 10. And then at that point, since I've already listed, if I need to, I can take the rest of the day off.
That's awesome. Yeah, we can't forget why we're self-employed. Just a quick shout out to Little Miss Q. I'm glad to see you here, and I hope that you're feeling better. Also, another one that was kind of under the weather. Tracy says her business model would be so much easier if she only sold one thing. So I feel like a lot of people think that you have a really good point. Drew just says you fake your sales and like feet, but we'll leave that there. For those of you that don't know, Drew isn't just being mean to him or a troll. They're actually good friends and friends in real life. So he's just teasing him a little bit. Nikki and Gary want to know if you clean shoes, and I think this is interesting too. So go ahead and answer that for them.
Yeah, so I definitely don't pick up shoes that need a lot of cleaning, but it is necessary to clean about 90% of the shoes that I get, even if it's just cleaning the price off the bottom or just taking the sticker off. Like everything needs something. I'd say if a single pair of shoes is going to take me over a couple minutes to clean, it's either going to need to profit me a whole lot of money, or I'm just leaving it behind.
So my go-to for scrubbing the price tags off the bottom is essential oil. What do you prefer?
So I'm in the boat that I use acetone, and if acetone doesn't work, I just take a Sharpie and write over it. I don't think that trying all these different methods, because we could spend the whole 2 hours talking about different prices off shoes. And I think people get so caught up in needing to clean the price off the shoes that they're wasting so much of their time that they really lost money on the shoes if they factored in the value of their time.
Yeah. And you know what I did recently? And I think I posted a reel about it already. If not, then you guys will have already heard this information when you see the reel and the short about it. But I sold a pair of wedding shoes, Betsy Johnson wedding shoes, with beautiful, like the entire thing were covered in crystals. And there was a price on the bottom in marker, would not come off. So I made it a heart, as if someone had like drawn a heart on the bottom of their wedding shoes, and they sold for like $30 plus shipping.
Yeah, I also think that it kind of depends on the type of shoes too. If they're a higher end shoe, I'm going to try harder to get the price. It just goes back into what I said about cleaning. If they're going to profit me a lot more And I think the buyers want to see like a pristine bottom, like if they're more of a collector shoe.
Yeah.
It's worth going that extra mile to get the price off the bottom. But with 90% of the shoes, since I make my living off the bread and butter shoes, those shoes aren't worth
That's such a good point. Like that's not what's really paying your bills. The $30 sales that you bought for 10 are paying your bills. Because again, I'm the guiltiest of being like, everything needs to be like big high dollar sales, and you know, those bread and butter sales. Like I was thinking today, again, little Miss Q had posted in her last video where she picked up these gloves for 50 cents and she sold them for like $6.95. And I was like, if I bought the entire bin of gloves for 50 cents at my thrift store and I sold them all for $7, like how many times extra my money is that, you know?
Yeah, right.
But we don't want to, sometimes we don't want to spend time on those. I'm gonna say NN, unless you know a name here that I can associate here. Drop me a name NN so I can call you by it. I only sell shoes, and they want to know if you have a daily schedule as well. Hello, Misha.
That kind of ties into my goal for 2022 is getting that daily schedule set up. Right now, it kind of like I kind of set it up the day before, like the night before. I'll just either think out or write out what I need to get done the next day, and then when I get that done, I'm done. But I don't schedule it out a week in advance or anything like that.
How long does it take you to clean 10 pairs of shoes?
Obviously, it depends, but I'd say on average, probably. I'm honestly just guessing. I've never timed myself here, but I wouldn't say more than 20 minutes on average.
Are you going to the flea market with Drew tomorrow?
I believe so. Yeah.
I hope you guys find some stellar stuff. Happy New Year, Astrid, and Kim. I'm glad that you're here also. Drew doesn't want you to buy fleas while you're there. And hello to the Nashville Flippers are also here. Do you offer a Rex Ryan special deal on your shoes?
Rex Ryan.
I was hoping maybe that was an inside joke that you knew about.
I'm sorry. No, I don't.
Yeah, essential oil works really, really well, Tracy, where acetone is his go-to. Like, I'm kind of like you are, Dalton. If it's not coming off with the essential oil, I'm going to scribble something over. And I use the essential oil cap to scratch it. I used to use my nail because I'm gross. And then I would have like black Sharpie stained under my fingernails. And I don't keep my nails painted, so I look so ratchet all the time.
Yeah, I'm bad about that too. If shoes are dirty, I'm the exact opposite of like a germaphobe. Like I'll get in there with my fingers, and then a minute later, I'm like, why did I do that?
I know. I'm like, quit being so gross, but I won't clean shoes in the kitchen sink, and I give so many like reseller men a hard time about it. But then I'm over here with my actual fingernails I'm going to eat food with later, and so like it's all in good fun that I'm picking fun at you guys. A rural squirrel brings up a very good point. So as a man, you might not be quite as offended when you're asked this, or maybe you're more so. You've inevitably gotten the question, could you show me, and my favorite, if you had a favorite in this weird category, could you show me how these high heels look while you're pressing the gas pedal down in a car?
I can't say I've ever got that question before.
No, never. Okay.
No, it's usually pretty basic, but I have gotten it. And since I use shoe trees when I photograph the shoes, I just have a comment lined out that I just copy and paste. It says, I use shoe trees to model the shoes as if they were on your foot. So please refer to the photos or something along those lines.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's odd. I mean, perhaps some of that is like deferred because you have like, is your picture, your profile picture on Poshmark?
No, it's a logo. My closet's called Salty Souls. So it's just a logo for Salty Souls.
Gotcha. My Poshmark picture, I don't have a picture on eBay, and Nashville Flippers would like chew me up for that. And then on Poshmark is a picture of me so long ago that I had brown hair.
Oh my.
And I have like a baseball cap on. So it doesn't even really look like me. Why don't you shop at the bins?
I don't like the competition. I don't think it is as consistent as the retail stores. And it's just, whenever I go in there, I typically, if I have a good day at the bins, all the shoes that I pick up need really deep cleaning. Retail,
okay.
They're already pretty much fairly cleaned and ready to go. And like I said, I just don't like bumping elbows with people. I'd rather be more relaxed throughout the day.
My thrift store has really good prices on shoes. You should come thrift in Southeast Missouri because like Marcus Dixon Pickens, he's an hour north of me, and his shoes up there at the Teen Challenge are $3 a pair. And then here, like I pay $2 to $5 at my thrift store. I bought a pair of Rothy's yesterday for $2.
That's amazing. Yeah, I feel like every time I get on social media, I look at everybody else and their thrifts are so much cheaper than mine.
I need to like get you a mystery box of shoes together and just sell them off to you at what you're paying for these shoes.
I appreciate it.
Or maybe I cut you a deal a little less than that, $10. Drew has your schedule for tomorrow, 9 a.m. wake up, 10, hang out with him, thrift with him at 11, and 12, I'm not sure. Oh, help him with shipping.
Yep.
And Tracy just subbed to you. If you guys haven't already subbed, then I know people are dropping his link there. I just got it, the whole flea market thing. It's sad that it took me that long. You do wish that you had other resellers to go thrifting with sometimes, but Dalton, you just had an experience with that, and that's what your most recent reel was about. So tell them what happened if they didn't watch it.
So obviously the reel was just more fun to just because it was funny, but the reel was basically it would show a picture of me and it said, when you find a grill at the thrift, and then it turned and I was with 4 other resellers, and it just said, but you're with 4 other resellers, and the caption said, thrifting with friends is all fun until you have to split up inventory.
So true.
From a business standpoint, no, you shouldn't thrift with anybody else, but like it's so much more fun going out with other people and thrifting. And
yeah, and if you have a social media also, like I know a lot of times Drew and Matt Easy, Drew Profit Monsters and Matt Easy will thrift together, and then they do like a draw, and I think you and Drew have even done that as well.
Me and Drew started that. Matt
said he's gonna be listening tonight, so now he's gonna chime in when he heard you say that. Justin C is a fellow disc golfer, and shout out Tim. Tim's here. I don't feel like we can read one of Tim's comments without saying that. Rex Ryan was an NFL coach who had a foot fetish. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no discount for that. That would probably at least extra. Sinks were made for cleaning shoes. I am positive Haley does not agree with you on that. Maybe like a utility sink. Happy 22, Doc. I can't tell if that's an L or an I. It's Diggle, right?
Yeah, I think it's Diggle.
Okay. Imagine using a description. Do you use descriptions in your shoes, or do you just have like a basic? Mine is a basic copy and paste every single item. Unless there's a flaw I need to describe.
Yeah, mine's a basic copy and paste, but I insert the information. It just like it has I have a notes in my notes app, and it just put in the color, the size, and the SKU for my inventory. I enter that in and just copy and paste it to eBay.
So tell me, Lil Q says she's gotten great shoe cleaning tips from Drew Profit Monsters, and she really appreciates that. Did Drew tell you and teach you all he knows about cleaning shoes, or have you taught him everything?
Yeah, so I've taught Drew everything he knows, period, about reselling. I don't think that he would be able to make it without me.
Did he get you into reselling?
No, actually, I didn't. He followed me on Instagram. It's probably been 2 years now, but he followed me on Instagram, and he'd like reply to some of my stories. And that's one thing that I'm bad about, is engaging. And so it takes me a while to like I'll respond to people, but I'll never the names won't click after I see him over and over again. And eventually he messaged me enough that I went to his profile, and I'm like, wow, this guy is in a town away. So I followed him, and the rest was history.
Nice. That's perfect. It was a friendship meant to be. How do you handle this question? Do these shoes fit true to size?
I just Google the brand, and if it fits true to size, and try to find a response there on Reddit or in some reviews. And
oh, you're an actual professional. Look at you taking time. Tracy is telling Tim, congratulations. Otto is adorable. And yes, a big congratulations there. Yeah. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone here. So tell me, shoes at Goodwill near me in New Jersey are at least $9.50 and up. Our Goodwill is $10 to $20 a pair. When you're saying average $10, is that usually at Goodwill?
Yeah, Goodwill is the main place I thrift, and I'm pretty confident that most people that thrift at the Goodwills that I thrift at would probably say that the Goodwill price is $10 to $20 a pair. You just need to really be consistent. And the more consistent you are, the more of those lower prices that you'll find. Gotcha.
And the more brands that you're educated about, like Drew was talking about that the other day in a video. I think he was on with Marcus, and he said, when I first started reselling, I only found, so many things, but now I feel like I find so much more, but it's really because I'm educated more.
And that's another benefit of selling in one category. If you become an expert at one category, you don't have to deal with this. You're only looking for a few brands that the thrift store also knows are good brands, so they're going to be pricing them higher. All of the bread and butter that the thrift store is going to be missing.
100%. Yeah. So Tim says that he'd like to come to Florida, but you guys won't invite him, but OG and Z is taking care of that.
Yeah, Tim, I will formally invite you right now. You tell me the day when you're free. I'll thrift a whole week with you.
Kim, if none of your friends want to resell, you just make resellers your friends. That's all you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Gino is also in Florida. I don't know if you're familiar with Gino's Finds. He is near Hollywood, Florida.
Okay, I'm in Orlando, so I think that's like an hour and a half.
Oh, is that all? I was thinking even further away than that.
I think it's on the coast over west of me.
Yeah, I think it's like on Miami side.
East, yeah, east.
What is your favorite shoe to sell?
My favorite brand is Vans.
Just Vans, really?
Nike is the easy answer to that because Nike's by far my number one seller, but Vans is like in consistency when I can find them is number two. So I list them very often. They usually sell pretty fast. They're just my favorite bread and butter brand.
Nice. Okay, so when I'm picking up Vans, I feel like the more unique the pattern is that I saw some that had tigers and flowers, but sometimes they're just in such small sizes.
Yeah.
Does it matter with Vans?
I mean, there's always going to be a buyer for every size. Obviously, some sizes sell better than others. And like I said, since I'm in one category, I'll wait for the buyers for the smaller sizes. But I do believe I've sold like 3 pairs of women's 6 or 6.5 Vans just this week. So, and that's
wow. Okay. Yeah. He is surprised by your answer though. Tracy wants to know what shoe sells the fastest for you, and do you sell men's and women's?
Yes, I sell men's and women's, but it's like 65 to 70% women's. And the shoes that sell fastest for me, I'm not sure if there's an exact brand. Obviously, it depends because each brand has their like models that are better that sell faster. I'd probably say Nike, just because I sell more Nikes than other probably 2 or 3 top 5 brands that I sell. So the generic brand that I'd go with is Nike.
Gotcha. These guys are really giving each other a hard time. When I read this, I read it in like a really mocking voice. But yeah, they're nothing like a reseller friend, huh? I think part of that is that like everyone knows how a pair of Nikes fit. The more familiar with a brand people are, they don't need you. Because I get weird questions sometimes, Dalton, that people want me to like take a ruler or a tape measure and measure the bed of the shoe, and then I'm thinking again about sticking my hand down in there. And
those are the questions that I don't answer because there's no way to easily measure the inside of a pair of shoes. So I just wait for a buyer that knows their size.
So, are you pro shape ups or anti shape ups?
I am very pro shape ups.
I'm hoping that if Joey's just listening and listening, then he'll chime in now and tell you how wrong you are. Yeah. I asked that because when I was talking about sticking my hands in those shoes, I got these vintage Reebok once, and when I stuck my hand in them to like clean something, part of it had disintegrated, and it felt like cake frosting.
Yep, that is a very valid comparison.
Okay, because I've been wondering ever since it happened if there was actual cake frosting in these shoes. You're saying that this actually is a thing, and it wasn't.
Yeah, sometimes when it starts to crumble and moisture gets in there, I can definitely see the cake frosting feeling.
It was so disgusting. Yeah, it was really. Did it taste like cake frosting? No, surprisingly. I'm kidding. I was seriously wondering if someone had some really like food and foot fetish, or if there was like a mistake, like what had happened. Because I bought 2 pair, and the black pair weren't like that, and the white pair, they were satin too. They were so cool, and they went straight into the garbage. Like that was so gross. Imagine having $100,000 90-day total and never helping other people. They're so mean to each other. Oh, let's see. I found a very impressive critter cave of some sort made out of a mud in a vintage Sketcher boot once. Oh, so like a mud dauber.
I have a similar experience. I actually got a pair of shoes from Ross, not a thrift store, from Ross. They were brand new. They weren't, I mean, they could have been a return, obviously, but they weren't worn. There's no wear on the bottom. But I went to list them. I went to stick a shoe tree in it, and I like crumbled the mud dauber's nest, and it was just full of dirt.
Aren't you so glad that you did that and didn't? Can you imagine sending them to a buyer?
Mm-hmm. That would have been a nightmare.
So I've sent 2 pair of dry rotted shoes, not knowing that they were dry rotted, to buyers. And one time, like the heel separated from the shoe. And then one time it was like cracked somewhere, and it was equally as embarrassing each time. And I gave them a full refund immediately. Like, do you have mishaps, stuff you didn't catch, and then the buyer gets it?
Yeah, so I feel terrible for this. I first started reselling, like this was when I first started reselling. I didn't know shape ups crumbling was a thing. I was brand new. I was selling on OfferUp at the time. I sold this lady a pair of Skechers shape ups, and they dry rotted and they crumbled on her. And she sent me a picture of them in a dog's kennel. For some reason, I don't know why they were in the dog's kennel. I just assumed, since I didn't know that dry rotting was a thing, I was like, did her dogs just chew these up and she's now trying to return
She's trying to get me.
So I countered the return on OfferUp, and I won the case. And then I found out like 6 months later that this is a common thing, and I felt terrible.
She's
But
still mad at you to this day. She won't ever shop on Mercari again.
she probably won't. She probably won't. I feel terrible. But
I can't even believe that you just won that.
I mean, it's kind of on her since she sent him in the dog's kennel, but
that is really weird.
Yeah.
She was like, these stupid shoes, and just threw in the first place right. That they were going to crumble on the floor or something. Aubrey wants to know, what sizes will you not pick up because they're either too small or too large and they're just going to sit forever?
That kind of depends on what the shoe is. Obviously, if they're a brand that kind of takes a while to sell, like say like Keds, for example, I'm not going to pick up some Keds that are huge or tiny. I
saw some size 13 Keds, like 3 pair.
You sold some?
Yes.
Oh, see, there's always a buyer for everything. Yeah. But usually I'm not too afraid of size 9 out of 10 brands. The only sizes that I do kind of steer away from is youth sizes that are like a youth 1 to youth 4. Because I feel like people like to splurge on their kids when they're little, and then when they get to that bigger stage, the 1 to 3 or 4, they don't spend as much money on them.
Like because the cute has worn off the kid by then.
Yeah, something like that. And then 4 and up, you can sell as women's sizes. So it's really just those youth sizes that I kind of steer away from.
Gotcha. Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm kidding about that. Like my son is in those sizes and they're just like so much rougher on everything because now they're going to kindergarten and they just like he has 17 pair of shoes in his closet, I think. And they're all just my older son, who's so meticulous about his shoes, is like, bro, if you just take those off, I'll clean them for you. Right. Drew says he's sorry those were his pet mud daubers and his old shoes. So sorry about that. Just cut the soles off the shape ups before you send them. Problem solved.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
Michelle, we're so glad that you're here. Do you feel like certain kinds of shoes get returned more than others, Dalton?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Do you accept well, you're not on you are on eBay.
I am on eBay, yep.
Do you accept returns on your store?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is it free returns?
Free 60-day returns. In my eyes, I'd rather do whatever I can to appease the eBay algorithm that'll lead to more sales, even if that leads to a couple more returns. So
Gotcha. Yeah, it's always interesting to see how different people run it because like there is no one size fits all model. And it's always so fun to see so many people succeed in different ways. Carissa is here, you guys, and she super chatted me. She said, I hear if you hit the like button on Rachel's video, your store may flourish. I heard that too.
She just a few weeks ago, she bought not 1, but 3 pairs of shoes from my Poshmark closet just out of nowhere. It was the nicest thing ever. I didn't even realize it until I went to ship them.
She is kind of nice like that. She bought something from me once, and like Carissa and I are like actual friends in real life. We haven't met each other like you and Drew have, but we've got each other's phone numbers, and she didn't even tell me she was buying this shirt. I had the thing packaged up like it's good to go, and I'm entering the weight, and then I was like, wait, I know that town.
Yeah, the only reason I noticed it was because, like I said, she ordered 3 and there were 3 separate orders. And I was putting the labels on the boxes and I realized I seen the same address 3 times in a row. I'm like, okay.
That's hilarious. And so you hadn't even seen it to combine all 3 of them anyway. Oh, right. On Poshmark, I don't guess it would have matched. She should have bundled that up. I'm sure you would have given her a deal. Huh?
Yeah, I would have.
Okay, James says, can you tell me the top 5 brands that you would look for women's shoes and men's shoes? And I know you just recently put out a video through your Closet to Profit series. Did I title that right? Is that what you're calling it, right?
Yeah, from the Closet to Profit, yeah.
Okay. And you were talking about 15 brands, but if you're going to give James 5? Yeah,
so that video, I was just going over 15 sales. And that wasn't necessarily the top brands, but the top 5 brands that I'd say look out for. This is not a sexy answer. This is just what I tell you.
I love that your store, you're not trying to get like the high dollar sexy brands. It's bread and butter.
You're never going to find those. I'd look out for Nike, Vans, Converse, Adidas, and Puma, Brooks, Asics, New Balance, like just what you see on people's feet. That's what I look for.
That basic stuff sells, especially if you put everything at such a great price too.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like sometimes I'm stingy with my price. Carissa, thank you. She said that I look beautiful. I think she thinks you do too.
Oh, wow.
And Courtney Bolo Buddies is waiting on the cha-ching now. She said, not virtually, we're real life friends. If you buy a pair of shoes and you don't know if it's men's or women's, how could you tell most of the time, Dalton?
If you don't know if it's men's or women's, you can. So most of the time you can look up the size chart online. Just search the brand and then search size chart. And most tags will have the US size, the EU size, and the UK size on them. So you just take that shoe chart and you just match up what's on the tag. So like a men's size 9 is going to be a UK 8, but a women's UK 8 would be what would that be? A women's 10.5.
Gotcha.
On most brands, but some brands have different UK and EU sizing. So just always look up the brand specific.
Gotcha. So do you keep something pulled up all the time, or do you just print something and have it in your reselling space where you can reference it all the time for shoe sizes?
I have a folder in my photos on my phone that I just save all of the different brands.
Gotcha. So Jethro says he can't wait to see what happens with mine and Delo's $2,000 eBay scam. So that's shoe related. And Dalton and I were talking about it briefly before the live started. My son found they were Jordan Highs Mocha. So that's like Travis Scott and Jordan had a collab, and those are very expensive. And these are what they call the poor man's Travis Scott, which is interesting because they're still $560 a pair.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's if you can find them for that. They're $600 and up. Well, Delo finds them on Christmas Day, 10 pair from a seller on eBay with zero feedback. I'm giving you guys the cliff notes about this. I have bought shoes from people with zero feedback. The last pair of Yeezys I got from him is zero feedback. They're authenticity guaranteed. Like, if they're not real, then we get our money back. Well, we spend $2,000 on these shoes, and today is the 7th. We bought these on Christmas Day, and they have yet to ship. So obviously, we're going to get our money back. It just blows my mind that when I called eBay, they said, wait another week to call us to then start the process of opening a case. And it's a $2,000 sale, and I've got like close to 1,000 feedback. These people just opened a store and have zero feedback, but we will just wait. And so whenever we think like, oh, eBay is unfairly for the buyer all the time, they're not.
Have they just been ghosting you? Have they not contacted you at all?
I cannot message them. And that was the other part about the video. So messaging is turned off through eBay's authenticity guarantee.
Right. Yep, I knew that. Yeah.
Does that blow your mind? Well, you apparently knew that. I didn't know that. And I bought a lot through the eBay authenticity guarantee because my son has expensive taste. And before you guys think that kid is spoiled, he spends his own money. He just bought the Belugas, the Yeezy Belugas. So he's got like the last 2 Yeezy drops. So we only got him 1 pair for Christmas. He spent his Christmas money on the other pair. And in that video, I show you guys the sole of his shoes after wearing them for a year. That boy cleans them with like toothpicks and toothbrushes. So he does better at cleaning shoes than I do. And he cleans my shoes when I buy them, and I give him $5 a pair. So let's see. Hoka, On Cloud, Vans, Nike, Converse is what Drew says. So you like that list as well?
I like that. The only reason I left Hoka and On Cloud out is just because they're more rare to find. But they're definitely a good Bolo brand to look out for.
Trevor does want to hear the sexy answer. Jordan's
Gucci, Balenciaga, Yeezys.
Oh yeah, if I found some Balenciagas, I would die and hope they were my son's size so I could give them to him. I feel so good about this. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I appreciate your support. And I feel good enough about it that I'm going to very slowly say your screen name. Thank you so much. I buy shit. I instantly regret saying it. I've never said it. Thank you so much. That means a lot, especially if we don't get our $2,000 back. So, he says Christopher. He told me his name too. I just read right past that, didn't I? I'm glad you're talking about shoes. Been wanting to learn more about the best bolos. So maybe you get some video ideas tonight too, Dalton.
They're coming.
So tell me something really good that happened in the world of reselling this week?
I'll stick to the topic of your show and go with eBay.
Okay.
Today was the day that my last no sales day fell off of the 30-day running. So I've had a sale every single day for the last 30 days on eBay. So
Hey, that's
yeah,
stellar. That's
that's,
awesome. So
yeah, because
how long has your eBay store been open?
a long time. Like ever
Okay.
since I started reselling, it was on eBay. But in November, my parents went on a vacation, and my parents run a restaurant in Kansas,
Mhm.
and they run it full time. So when they wanted to take a vacation, I told them I'd go and manage it for them while they're gone. So I was gone for 2 weeks. So I had 2 weeks where I wasn't listing and I wasn't getting any sales. And
Yeah.
then with eBay how the algorithm works. When I got back to town, they weren't pushing my listing, so it was kind of slow start getting the sales. And then I had to go back for Christmas for a few days. So it was nice to finally get my 30-day streak back.
Yeah, that's awesome. You make me want to go streaking. I'm gonna I'm gonna start a board up here and I'll make a tally every time and maybe I'll make a funny reel about going streaking.
There you go.
Ginger Marvin said Gino has a good shoe tip. And has this held true for you, Dalton, that men's US sizing is always within one number of UK sizing, women's is more than one number?
Yep. I'm pretty sure that is true on all shoe brands. So yeah, that's a great tip.
Okay. Bruh, you bought $2,000 for your kid. It was to invest, Drew. You have to watch the video. Drew thinks it's clickbait and won't watch it. Watch the video, Drew. We were going to invest. He was going to turn his $200 into 900, and I was going to turn 1,800 into 3,600. And so I invested in his idea. And Joey is here. He
All in
was
the chat.
not in time to hear you say that how much you love shape ups.
Yes.
He was eating Italian, so we can forgive him for that. Drew's old, adopt me instead. Oh boy. But I'm super excited though that you would be able to sell something every day over on eBay. What's your current average sales price? Are you sticking to around $30 on eBay as well?
Yeah, that's after shipping and fees though, and that's over all platforms. So
Okay.
just over $30. Like it's like 30 and some change.
So is there a particular number? Obviously it varies by platform, but so you aim at usually trying to sell between $45 and $50, you think? Is that like the
Yep.
sweet spot to try to ensure you get 30?
Yep. Typical sale on eBay and Mercari, since I do free shipping on there, is between $40 and $50.
Gotcha. Now, do you change the prices? I don't know if you do. First of all, I should say, do you cross list? I know you are on different platforms. Now, some sellers will specifically do certain, shoes in certain platforms. Do you cross list everything everywhere?
Everything everywhere. I don't. I use, first off, I use List Perfectly to cross list, so it doesn't take that much time. And I wouldn't like the headache of having different things listed on different platforms and not knowing when I need to take things down. And so yeah, I just cross list everything everywhere.
I used List Perfectly also. I just recently started using them. Now with List Perfectly, obviously they upload the price and everything. Do you change that? Do you do a higher price on Poshmark because they take more, or is your price one price across the board?
Yeah. So when I list, I list to eBay, since they have all of the item specifics that are important to help your item show up in the feed. So I do eBay, and then I use List Perfectly to cross list from eBay to Mercari and Poshmark. And typically I have to change the price on Poshmark because I like the price that the buyer's paying to be the same across all the platforms. I know that's weird, but if I'm listing for 49 on eBay, free shipping, I'll list them for 39 plus shipping on Poshmark. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't really factor in the 20%. Like, cause I posted on my story a couple of days ago that I think eBay and Poshmark take similar percent in fees, because I mean, you're
Yeah.
paying their 13% up front. I promote all my listings at 3%, and then I do free shipping. So I got to pay shipping out of that. So honestly, I think Poshmark is cheaper at the end of the day.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I find a lot of people want to negotiate more on Poshmark. And so I always raise my price a little bit so that I can give like that 10% off offer or something like that. But I feel like with the business model as streamlined as what you have, that's not even really a consideration. I mean, it sounds like you have it pretty fine tuned.
Yeah. And I typically list higher at the higher end of the market. So I do have room to negotiate. But I do also find that I get more full price sales on Poshmark than on eBay. So that could
Gotcha.
differ for me from you.
How do you feel about, Scott says he has 4 pair of new old stock white Vans and was planning on painting them. How do you feel about customized shoes?
If I customized painted those shoes, I would decrease the value so much that nobody in the world would buy them. So if you are good at it, that's awesome. I think that you should do that and sell them
My
because I know.
son has a pair of NMDs that I custom painted for him. He asked me to paint them, and his friends all love them at school. Like they're pretty sick shoes. He had found a pair online that were in a museum somewhere, and he's like, "Mom, can you paint me a pair like this?"
Yeah.
And so I just kind of copied that.
That is cool. I will say that while we're on this topic, I do have paint that is specifically for shoes, and I will
Like
touch.
Angelus.
Yes, I will. I will touch up some rubbed off paint if that's needed on some of the shoes that I pick up.
Gotcha. Do you ever get requests to find shoes for anyone?
Yes, I do, and that, like, especially with my friends and family, it's gotten to be kind of a pet peeve. It's like, because it's super hard. Like I'm sure you know, it's super hard to go into the thrift store and find something so specific. Like they'll ask me if I need if I can find them a women's size 9 A6 in the color pink. I'm like, I can, but by the time I find that, I'll probably forget that you asked because I've got so many other people asking me. So I just typically just send them my store and explain how you can follow me.
Yeah.
So
That's a good idea. I always try to see when you guys post different shoes and stuff, like if it's a women's size 10, if it's like a trail shoe or something like that, because especially my trail shoes, I will buy those used if they're in good condition still for running. Just because like you in a long trail run, you're going to need 2 or 3 pair of trail shoes. So it's always good to have extras. But yeah, so I'm always like lurking to see if what you guys found is in my size. So this is kind of a controversial and hot topic. Why offer free shipping for your business model specifically? Why do you offer free shipping?
I think it will increase your sales. I think that eBay prefers free shipping. You'll get that fast and free logo on eBay. And I think that psychologically affects the way that buyers perceive your listings.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychologicalness. There's a lot of psychology tied to it for sure. There really is. And there's also psychology tied to the fact that they really associate that it's free shipping. So when they make an offer, they're not even considering that. But it sounds like you know exactly where you need to be on offers, and you really don't have any reason to have to budge a whole lot because you're so reasonably priced as it is.
Right. And that's also to say, like, there's a lot of people that charge shipping and are killing it, doing a lot more than me. Like Tim's an example. I'm pretty sure Tim charges shipping on everything, and he's got 100K 90-day total. So my way's not.
Exactly. Like everyone's business model is different. Matt Easy is here lurking in the chat. Hello. Shout out to Matt. Everyone is into white Vans right now for Squid Games. Is that a thing?
I never connected the two, but she's probably right. She's probably 100% right.
And Drew believes in your painting abilities on shoes. He said that it's just abstract art.
You know, you're probably right.
How long do you see yourself doing resale? If you weren't reselling, then what else would you be doing?
I have no idea.
You would live in Kansas with your parents.
I would live in Kansas with my parents. I would. No, I honestly would not. But I don't know how long I'll be reselling for. I really enjoy it, and I'm sure one day I'll stop enjoying it. Maybe I won't ever stop enjoying it. Who knows? But if I stop enjoying it, then that's the day I'll quit.
Apparently, we all need to go to Denver. That's the honey hole that we've all been missing. So maybe there's not a whole lot of resellers. I feel like people in Denver are already rich, so maybe they don't need to make any side hustle money. You think?
It's funny that they said that. I used to work with someone I used to be a server, and one of the people I worked with actually moved to Denver and messaged me on Instagram not too long ago telling me how great the thrift stores were.
Let's all go to Denver. I've never been to Colorado. Here's an interesting question that'll make or break the evening. If you had to choose Drew or Joey, who would be your ride or die?
I would politely decline this question.
He pleads the fifth. It could be self-incriminating. Okay, who wins in a fight, Drew or a wet blanket?
I'll answer that one. It's probably gonna be the wet blanket.
Oh man, you guys are so salty with each other. Oh, Lena Simpson is here. Hello. I'm so happy that you're here. And Tim only has that total because his dad owns eBay apparently. So that's great. Tim, have you ever been to, I know he's still in the chat, maybe tell us, have you ever been to Denver, and what did you think about the Denver, the thrifting there? Denver Goodwill Bins is full of resellers.
I guess Tim's not too far from there, is he?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's probably within driving. I don't know. All that Western stuff kind of runs together, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
all the states are so big. They're just
Yeah,
over.
there's like 5 people that live in all of them collectively. My brother's moving to Denver this year. Guess I have to visit him. Well,
There we
apparently
go.
he's going to be there if he hasn't been already. I've never been to Denver. I've never been there either. Oh, I saw T for Auctions for You. Hello, T. Hey, I just want to tell you guys real quickly, if you, because I don't know about you, Dalton, but I get a lot of messages for people telling me that they have trouble thrifting where they're at or sourcing where they're at. And T Auctions for You has her YouTube channel is like online auctions, and a lot of her stuff, like currently she's going through a lot of toys because she bought out toy stores. And so she'll lot up like, 16, 20 Star Wars new in package and auction them off.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, yeah, so her and Donatello Botolino, they do auctions like that. So if you guys are looking for an online way to buy stuff, then definitely like check them out. Auctions for You. This is her screen name.
That's awesome.
Did you see Christopher's super chat? Oh, am I that far behind?
I think you mentioned it. I could be wrong.
I said it because I didn't realize his name was
Yeah.
Christopher. I would have said that instead.
Yeah.
I planned a trip when I first started and ended up not doing it. I just remember there being like 100 thrifts in the area. Oh, okay, so maybe it's just that there are so many.
Mhm. I do remember looking that up. I took a vacation to Colorado Springs. It's been a couple years, but I do remember when I was there, I was looking up the thrifts, and like the whole state just lit up with Goodwills.
Are you the founder and president of the Marvel Mega Fans fan club?
Yeah, I'm very proud of this little desk piece right here. I got my Infinity Gauntlet in
That
Lego.
is so cool. I saw that when I tried to talk my son into getting it, and he's like, I don't want that one. And he's buying other Marvel things. Both my kids got the Marvel Advent calendar this year.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
And they really like that. So you are a huge Marvel fan then?
Yes, that's the one thing that I watch.
Are you a Lego fan as well?
That's the only Lego set that I own. But when I seen that it was coming out, like I had to have it.
So they have like Venom and
those little heads.
they have the DC ones, like they have Batman, and they even have like a vintage. I don't know if you like DC, but they have the coolest bust, a Venom one.
I didn't even start looking into the Legos until my buddy's he's a big Star Wars fan, and he got the Boba Fett and some Stormtrooper, those little Lego sets, and they look so cool. And then I looked them up, and they were just coming out with the Infinity Gauntlet, and I was sold.
Yeah, Israel got this big huge set, and it has Thanos, and he has a big head, but then you can remove it and put a minifigure head on there, which looks really, really funny. But my kids love all that stuff. I'm a huge Lego fan. I don't know if you're aware, but I'm a little bit obsessed with Lego. So although they're calling you a nerd, I don't think that you are. Matt Easy says the Boba Fett one is sick, so he thinks it's cool too. So tell me something, maybe, I mean, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows when you're a reseller, and you've been in this long enough, I don't have to tell you that. Is there anything bad that happened reselling this week that maybe like there was a workaround, you could fix it, but it wasn't good?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to my head is this. In the past, I don't know if it happened this week, but I just had 2 people message me on eBay, both saying that their items weren't delivered, and they weren't exactly polite about it. One of them even messaged me when they bought the item and said, please write on the box, deliver on the back porch for the mailman to read that. Apparently they got a lot of porch pirates in their area, and I wrote that on the box. I don't know if the postman put it back there, but they still didn't receive it. They were really upset. They didn't believe that I wrote on the box where to put it. And then the other one just said it never arrived, and they were upset. I'm still dealing with it. I haven't heard from him in a few days, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's that kind of stinks, especially if you went to the extra time and trouble of writing it on there. But there's nothing that you can really do about somebody's package showing delivered. And I mean, for anyone in the chat that's maybe wondering, what is your best way of handling something like that? If someone says, well, it shows delivered, but I never got it.
Yeah, so I mean, the way that I just handled it is, I mean, there's nothing that I could really do about it. I told him to contact USPS, and then I wasn't sure if eBay could do anything about it, so I told him to contact eBay. But from my standpoint, the item says it's delivered, so as far as I know, that's I've done my job.
Yeah, and like tell your buyer to contact USPS. And I don't know if everyone's aware, Joey could probably attest to this, but when when the USPS worker scans the package, that is GPS enabled. So it'll actually show exactly where they were when they scanned it delivered. So that's USPS's proof that they actually delivered it to your house. Because my first or second purchase ever on Poshmark showed delivered, and it wasn't at my house, and we don't have porch pirates. And so I called USPS. I'm like, what is going on? And we had the substitute mail carrier at the time. Well, come to find out, she's like half a mile up the road towards another town where she scanned it.
So she probably just delivered it to the wrong address.
Yeah, and they were able to recover it. And, those people didn't keep the item. So thank God for like trustworthy people, because it was this cool silver bracelet that said 26.2 for like a marathon.
Yeah,
and
Joey,
then I do it.
Sorry, Joey just said that the GPS enabled is true.
Yeah, it is. So if you guys have people saying, it shows that it was delivered, but I never got it, maybe, tell them that. Joey also said that he had like 3 sales since he's been on here. So he must have hit the like button is the only thing I can think of. I mean, you've got to hit the like button, guys. And Scott says that he was the OG nerd. He was a nerd before it was cool, apparently. I was always drawn to hanging out with nerds more than anyone else in high school, for sure. Was that like, what was your clique of people in high school?
I was pretty nerdy in high school as well. My
if band wasn't cool, I didn't know it. Like, no one told me band wasn't cool. I was first chair alto saxophone.
Yeah, I never got into band. That's the one thing I wish I did in high school, because like when you get out of high school, talking to people that were in band, it was the greatest thing about high school. But I missed out on that. My claim to fame was I could solve a Rubik's Cube in under a couple minutes. So
Drew and I used to have Rubik's Cube wars. Yes, but I told him the other day, he was sitting there fiddling it with it the other day. He's like, I forgot one of the algorithms. I'm like, well, you're shot then. And so we both need a refresher. Do you still remember, or do you need a refresher?
No, I haven't picked one up in years. If I picked it up, I couldn't tell. I could do the top. I can get one color. Like that one's like riding a bike, but the rest of it's so hard.
So we got to the point where we were both under a minute, but he was always faster than me. And then one day I was like nursing the baby and doing it with one hand and still got it. That's awesome. But it's so cool because people think you're like super smart and it's just memorization.
Yeah, like, for the people that know how to do it, it's so much easier than the people that don't know how to do it think. So it's so much more impressive to them than it really is.
I know. Yeah, that's like a party trick that's like twirling fire baton, which also makes me a nerd, I think. It's not as dangerous as people think either. And so, yeah, it looks really impressive, but you would have to grab the end of it to burn yourself. But I love that you know how to solve the Rubik's Cube. Well, we all apparently need to refresh.
Yeah, I definitely need a refresher.
I could start with the daisy, and I don't know where I would go after that. My friend had an Amazon driver deliver a package, take a photo of it on the porch, then promptly take the package. They had a ring and busted him. I have to get a ring.
My thing with Amazon, I've had this happen 4 or 5 times where they'll deliver a package with a slit in the side and there's nothing in it.
So get out of here. Really? Amazon?
Yeah, they'll deliver me an empty package. And it's been a headache in the past because Amazon, like I think they've changed their return policy since I've had to deal with it like this. But if you go into the return options, it doesn't give you the option for that. Like you have to either return something or give them a reason why they need to refund you. And you can't just say that the item didn't deliver. Since there was a picture of the item on the porch, it's just
you're just going to have to quit shopping on Amazon.
I guess so.
Drew said that 67 people in the chat have not hit the like button. So I don't guess they want sales tonight. Isn't that weird? And Smitty's getting more nerdy as he gets older. Now he's a computer nerd. Who doesn't like to be around nerds? I mean, oh, don't ever let anyone call you basic, Rachel. Oh, I don't think I've been called extra a lot, but never basic. Like my son tries to call me basic. If I do stuff, he calls me a basic white girl sometimes, but that's it. But what was your talent in your beauty contest? The most cringy talent I ever had. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. My mom, I'm pretty sure my mom watched this pageant. So she might, she's in the chat. She might be able to attest to how bad this was. I was into drama in high school, and I just knew I was going to move out to LA and be an actress. And I was also thought I was funnier probably than what I was. So I was like, I'm going to do a comedic monologue and I'm going to write it myself. And this was for a Miss America preliminary. So if you won, then you got to go to Miss Missouri. And then afterward, you would get to go to Miss America. So this was like the teen division. Like, it was so tragic. I just remember hearing crickets. And I remember some of the jokes in my head now, and I don't remember a single funny thing. I had talent. I could have sang, maybe. I could have played the saxophone. I could have twirled the daggum baton. Like, I knew how to twirl flaming swords. I could, well, I didn't know how to do that at the time, but I literally could twirl swords in high school, link them together. Why would I write a comedic monologue that wasn't even funny? It's so cringy. And yeah, if my mom was there, she was probably the only one clapping. Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. Dina is talking about the Amazon thief deliveries too. That's crazy. Thanks, Kim, for thinking that I'm goals. I don't know after that story if you still think I am, but I tried Googling Rachel's pageant stuff and nothing came up. The sash is either fake or she removed all of her Mrs. Missouri stuff online. Someone asked me if I thrifted it in a story once. I post a few pictures every once in a while. I'll post a picture tomorrow on Instagram and I'll be like, it'll be like my crowning moment, just so Drew knows that this wasn't fake. It's there. See, there's my mom. She said, "Go, baby, go. You're always funny."
That's funny.
My dad would come to our track meets and say that it was like watching grass grow because I was a distance runner.
Yeah. I guess I kind of have a similar story about your comedy. So whenever, I can't remember what grade I was in. I think it was in like middle school where we still did spelling bees, and I would like crush everybody at the spelling bee like in our class, and each class had to like send somebody on to like the actual spelling bee where you're on stage in front of everybody, and getting on like I was top of the class in spelling. And then I got on stage in front of everybody and froze up in the first round. And they gave me the word people and I misspelled it.
What grade were you in?
It was like middle school.
Okay.
It was in front of everybody and I spelled it Poeple.
I made it to the 5th grade, into the last round to be in the spelling bee. I didn't make it on stage like you because I got out on the word vacuum, and I will forever remember that. You'll remember people, and I didn't put the 2 U's at the end. I was in 5th grade. I was so upset. Yeah, we are nerds. I had no idea that we were so nerdy until you start talking about Legos and spelling bees. And I was in the math club. Tell me you were in math club.
We didn't. I don't think we had a math club. I went to a tiny school. I graduated with 44 people.
Oh, okay, mine was about 60.
Yeah, so we didn't have many clubs.
Now, where in Kansas is your folks' restaurant at?
It's in Coffeyville, Kansas. If you're familiar, it's the southeast corner. Like if you're driving from Kansas City to Tulsa, Highway 169, like at the border of Oklahoma, on that highway is where they're at.
So that is the only place in Kansas I've ever been to. We drove from Joplin, Missouri to Tulsa, actually to Lake Eufaula because we were on Route 66.
Okay.
And we stopped at a place called the Route 66 Diner in Kansas for like the 2.5 minutes that we were in Kansas. And along the route on Route 66, every state we would eat at. My son would order a cheeseburger, and Kansas won best burger. He said it was the best burger he's ever had in his life was in Kansas.
Well, next time you're in Kansas, go to Pappy's State Line Barbecue. They have burgers.
Do they have veggie burgers or vegan?
No, unfortunately they don't.
I'll just call ahead and tell them that we're coming. And
okay. I think that they can find you something. I'll tell them to find you something.
Yeah. It's quite a ways from here. That trip was just so much fun though. But every time someone mentions Kansas, I'm like, the best cheeseburger on Route 66, according to Dello. That's great though. I take great pride in knowing how to spell onomatopoeia. It was a spelling test word in 11th grade. I just take great pride in being able to read that on the spot. I'm a grammar nerd too. I can't shake it. There's, and that's funny because talking about like people saying, no one can ever call you basic. I remember in high school kind of being talked down to because of vocabulary. And so I eliminated that from my life for a long time because I was like, people don't want to hear that. And I thought I was too much if I tried to like, if I wanted to enhance my vocabulary at all. And so like another example of like how people can make you feel worse for trying to better yourself. And, maybe probably in my 20s, I was like, that was so stupid. Why would I ever have given up something that was so important to me?
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever thought about that, but I definitely, now that you say that, I definitely know in certain contexts and certain situations, like depending on who I'm talking to, I'll stop myself from using certain words that are like, that not everybody knows the definition to. I don't know if that's
or you don't want to sound pretentious.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was where I found myself. And then I was like, wow, you're actually losing a big part of yourself. And like this love of like, I don't want to say love of literature. I don't really like reading, but I loved vocabulary. And I felt like I was giving that up. And I was like, well, forget that. I'm going to shine anyway. So one of my bad things that happened over on eBay, I told you I didn't know if I was going to share this. I'm going to share this, and I hope you guys don't judge me too much. So you mentioned like sometimes when people ask you for sizes, you're just like, I'm not worried about that. Mm-hmm. Well, most resellers would know that. I'm just laughing at my husband real quick. He said, never apologize for being the smartest person in the room, Mysterio. That is not what I was saying. Anyway. So everyone knows when someone asks you for measurements, they'll be like, hey, can you measure 2 inches above the calf, but below the shin? And, they're like ridiculous measurements, and you jump and go get the measurements for them, and then they ghost you.
Yeah.
Like you're not even selling the item.
Yeah.
So somebody asked me for measurements on a sports coat. Mm-hmm. And I didn't respond because I have the size. There are measurements in the photos, but there wasn't the measurements that they wanted. So I was like, okay, I just didn't have time. But I thought later this week when I have time, I probably had time. It wasn't a priority. I will get the code out and I'll measure it. Well, this morning I wake up to this message from them and they're like, this is the last and final time I'm going to ask you for this measurement. I'm incredibly disappointed that you haven't responded to me. And I was just like, I don't know how entitled or you would have to feel about yourself to think that this is Walmart, that you could walk into my store and just like, again, I'm not saying this for you guys to judge me. I think if we're all honest with ourselves, you all would have felt the same way I did. And I don't know, maybe they caught me in the wrong mood this morning, Dalton. I wrote them back and I was like, imagine believing that you could speak to me that way and still be allowed to buy anything out of my store.
I mean, you're not wrong about that.
I blocked them. I don't want to handle them. Like, if that's the kind of yucky entitled buyer they are, then how are they going to feel about the item that I packed to them?
Like, you don't know what to expect after they get it because they're already in a bad mood before they even purchased it. So,
yes, that's exactly what I thought. I'm just like, I don't know where that sense of entitlement came from. Like, it just reminds me that must be the type of person that like creates their own parking spot in the parking lot. Because like you don't want to walk
everybody in Florida.
Yeah, you don't want to walk all the way from back there because when you get in the store, all you're doing is walking away. Yeah. I don't know. Carissa says she's with me, that she would have felt that way too. Like I say, I almost thought about not bringing that up because I don't want that to sound like I'm just being a jerk. But if so, do you get that ever? No, that people like they come at you in the or like in a message?
I don't think I've ever had somebody come at me for measurements. Usually, because like I said, I usually just ignore them. Like with shoes, it's a little different than clothing because with clothing there are a bunch of different measurements that you could provide. But with shoes, like I said, I wait for somebody that knows their size. I definitely have had people message me like 4 or 5 times trying to get the measurements from me, and I don't think I've ever had anybody get hateful. But that's another just automated response that I have is just like the size is listed, the tags photographed. If it's true to size, I'll just Google if it fits true to size and just give them that information. But other than that,
yeah, I think we all kind of feel that way. I guess this morning I just verbalized it to them. Tim has a request, but like Tim, Drew's a moderator. I gave that man a wrench. So I mean, technically he could ban you. Yeah, I mean, but I do appreciate you buying me. I would say McDonald's. I always get on Adam and Sarah Pittsburgh Picker and tell them that I'm buying a McDonald's and I give them $2 super chats. But so what, $2? I could get some fries, some value fries.
I was just talking about this with someone the other day. I remember when I was in high school going to McDonald's and there was so much on the dollar menu. Like for $1, you get basically their whole menu. And
You
now
could
it's
take a girl there and impress her.
100%. Now you go
You
there.
can't even eat at Taco Bell for $1 anymore.
No. And then McDonald's is the worst. They have the $1, $2, $3 menu, and the only thing they have for $1 is a soda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. T says, Rachel, they will call you or if you are even like a tenth of an inch off in the measurement, and they will give you an INAD. Yeah, I just banned them. I blocked them. All of the spelling champs in the room, and Scott, the long distance champ. I saw Scott's comment that he was a long distance runner. That's always a lot of fun. It's going to cost you a lot more than $2 too. Forgot a few O's. Oh, wow. Yeah, the turntables. Yeah, be careful. We equipped him with a wrench, and Scott's got one too, so they might gang up on you. What is something that you wish you knew about reselling when you first got started, Dalton? What advice would you give to your younger self just starting out?
Pretty much the basic advice that we talked about at the beginning of this video is become an expert in one category. If you decide that you want to branch out and sell everything, at least get so knowledgeable in one category that you can consistently walk into a thrift store and find inventory.
That's a good idea, because how many times do you find yourself in a situation where you can't pull comps? You don't have cell phone service, or your phone died, or like if you're at a yard sale, it's really uncomfortable to pull out your phone sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it's all about saving time with any business. And if you become an expert in one category, you're basically removing a step. You no longer have to research comps. I mean, I obviously have to research comps on things that I haven't seen before, but I'd say out of 100 pairs of shoes that I buy on a sourcing trip, I have to look up comps on maybe 2 or 3 of them. And that time saver right there allows me to hit more thrift stores and find more shoes.
Yeah. And like you say, time is money. And a lot of times being self-employed, we don't equate our time as money, but like you're paying yourself an hourly rate. And like, I want to get behind what you were saying, that I need to work fewer hours so I have more time with my family. Danielle from Yard Sales and Dreams is here, so I wanted to say hi to her. And then Doc Diggle has a question. Have you guys ever thrifted out Mount Dora?
I probably have, but I think that Mount Dora is a little far away from me, so it doesn't really make sense to add to the route.
Don't worry about sending that message. Treat your business like your business. Yeah, I almost felt like Kat the Nurse Flipper. She's very like, Kat's my hero when it comes to addressing people sometimes, because she's not going to try to send them something pretty and flowery. She treats her business like her business for sure. You're laughing. I have to get to the bottom of what you're laughing about. Are
Tim's calling me out.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I've missed it. Thankfully, Dalton was already an expert on his lumber feeds. They really give you a hard time about that, do they?
They give me a hard time tonight.
Yeah. Drew said he loves his own feet, so that's a plus. Came by to see my beard. Who was it? Oh yeah. So Patricia wants to know if everyone in reselling has to have a beard, and would you look at my guest tonight? I told her yes. Even I have a beard. I'm kidding. No. But the other day, let me tell you how hilarious this is. So the other day, my husband and I are looking to buy a car, and we can't seem to find a used one in our price range. And so I'm like, are we gonna have to buy a new car? And we were walking in the Nissan dealership, talked to a dealer there, and we're walking out, and this guy across the way shouts. So you can imagine walking around with Drew every day. He gets this all the time. He shouts, "That's an awesome beard!" And I was like. And then he said something to him. I was like, "Oh, I thought you were talking about mine." And this other guy beside him just totally lost it. Like, I thought he was going to choke, and he had to leave the room. It was so funny. I like giving people a hard time.
You've got an amazing super chat, by the way.
I just saw this light up. Christopher, because I felt guilty last time. Dinner for you and hubby, not McDonald's. Taking my fur babies out for a walk. You all have a wonderful and blessed evening. That is so sweet. There's with Christmas break, we haven't really had a lot of dates lately because our dates have to happen while the kids are at school. So they're back at school, and we're going to take this and we'll go have sushi, some vegan sushi with avocado and sweet potatoes in it. Thank you so much, Christopher. That's super sweet. Yeah, Drew's probably excited now, planning a date somewhere.
Are you guys in the family vegan, vegetarian?
My husband and I are both vegan, and my kids are both vegetarian. They like cheese.
I feel that.
Yeah, and that was a holdup for us for a long time. But we, Drew and I are pretty into fitness, and he watched the movie Game Changers. Have you ever seen that, Dalton?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, it's really based on like veganism and plant-based diets from like a male perspective, and how it affects your physical performance in like athletics and lots of other areas, and it's pretty interesting. But yeah, it's called Game Changers. You can watch it on YouTube, or if you're clearly on Amazon, you could probably stream it on there or something. Tim says, I buy Foop. I think there's all saying he needs to be more like Christopher. Doesn't have a super chat budget. Coco Bay, we did say sushi. Do you eat sushi, Dalton?
I love sushi, yeah.
What is your order then when you go in?
So normally when I eat sushi, it is, I know supermarket sushi is not usually something to go for, but at Publix on Wednesdays, they do $5 sushi rolls, and they are honestly delicious. So I usually get the sampler with the actual sushi it's just rice with the tuna or salmon on top. That's usually my go-to.
Awesome. So Trevor is into fitness also. He said fitness pizza in my mouth. You guys are funny. Do you want to play a game since we have so many people in the chat right now?
Play a game.
Okay. So it's Friday night. I want to buy someone a drink. I don't care if you spend $5 on a coffee or whatever you want your drink to be. That's what I'm going to give the winner, is a $5 PayPal. So play if you want me to send you a $5 PayPal, because the last several weeks, nobody wants it after they win. Here's the rules though. If you win, then you have to, I'm going to write your name down. But you have to DM me your PayPal over on Instagram. Okay. I am Reseller Rachel Strickland on Instagram. So here is how it's going to work. You guys cannot start guessing until I write the word start in the chat. Okay. So, Dalton, do you have a pen and a piece of paper?
I do have a pen and piece of paper.
Okay, so don't say it out loud, okay? Just think about in your mind, without saying it out loud, think about either the best thing that you sold or the best thing that you thrifted here recently. And we all know, now this is going to be interesting because we all know it's going to be a shoe. So you're going to have to be more specific. Drew is already saying shoes. You cannot say shoes, Zach said it too. I want you to think of something specific, okay? So the more specific, the better, and we're gonna get someone that gets it like pretty right on, whether that be the brand or what. Don't write it down. You're not writing it down, are you?
No.
That is not how this game is played.
Okay,
Okay, do you have an idea about what it is?
I know exactly what it is, yeah.
Okay, so put that piece of paper on top of your head.
So I don't write it down?
No.
I'm just putting a piece of paper on my head?
Yeah, just a blank piece of paper, like blank side up on top of your head. Make sure they don't see any words that you accidentally wrote. Now take your pencil, and I want you to draw a picture of it, okay? You're going to have to draw it.
On my head?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So you're going to have to draw it specifically so that they can guess it. I mean, try to get artistic here, okay? So you guys don't guess in the chat yet. The only guesses that will count, I should say, are going to be after I type the word start. So you can go ahead and draw it. Go ahead and draw it now.
Okay. I will be thoroughly impressed if anybody gets this.
I'm going to be impressed, and I know they're going to get it. They always get it. They never let me down. Scott just said, has he never watched this channel? That's what I was thinking, Scott.
Listen, I'm so good at watching content.
I have never had a guest that wasn't surprised when I told them to draw this on their head. So Scott was surprised, I think, too, whenever he was on. T says she feels your pain. I wish everyone would try this sometime this week, and then just like draw your best find and then tag me on Instagram and tell me that you drew it on top of your head. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. But yeah, you got to be specific because we already know that it's gonna be a pair of shoes. Are you guys ready? Like, I feel like they're already running through in their heads. What has he posted on his Instagram? What has he talked about it on his YouTube?
Thing is, I haven't posted this anywhere.
Oh, good.
I don't think anybody will get it. I don't know.
Well, then he just helped you guys out. Don't even think it was anything that he posted. They're going to get it. They're really.
What else I can try to draw on here?
Let's see. That was awesome. We thrift at the Goodwill there, and yes, Nashville is pricey like crazy now. I've only been here 2 years. I am thinking about considering really hard thrifting over in Nashville, Franklin area. Are you ready?
I think this is gonna be terrible, but
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, Tim says to text him what you're drawing.
On top of that, Tim.
He wants me to buy him a drink. He's got a new baby. He might need me to buy him a drink. Okay, I'm gonna post start. You want to show him the picture?
Sure.
Okay, show it to him.
They're never gonna guess this.
Okay. What kind of shoes are these, you guys? This is very artistic. I feel like I know what it is.
Can I give a hint of what?
No, you may not. We like to see them suffer. Okay, so we got, oh boy, I better go back up. Okay, hang on. Let me go back up and I'm going to start reading them out loud for you. Nike sneakers, Converse, Jordans, brown boots that you could sold for $300. Nike.
How specific do I need to get with a winner?
Let's look for something pretty specific.
We'll just wait and I'll go back.
Converse high tops, Nike Air Jordans, Nike's cowboy boots. Also, he didn't lift his pencil. Converse boots, Nobles, a dead beaver, Adidas, Tesla, Timberlands, Jordans, New Balance 993, Jordans, Vans 870. Let's see. Oh, it's at the Franklin Goodwill as well. I need to be there. Prada, Gucci, high tops, Nikes, New Balance, Yeezy, Versace, Brooks, Kids Nike, roller skate, Elephant.
I'm gonna say this. Somebody got kind of close. I think it was just a random guess that they threw out, but
Heelys.
Not Heelys.
That's what I thought. I thought that back part was a wheel.
The back part's kind of a hint. It's not part of the shoe.
Okay, let me go back here. Healy, Nike Air Max, Healy, LOL, Yeezy 870, a wrecked car, a live beaver, New Balance 980s, a tiny elephant on the side, Boost, half a car, Zach. Wait, I think he was just laughing at Zach. Dang it, Trevor, that's a problem. Yes, a small elephant. It does kind of look like an elephant. New Balance 870, flip-flops, Earth Shoes, Spur, Colley's a stroke, Z-Coils. I sold Z-Coils this week. Okay, should we stop it, give them a hint,
I don't think. Should I say the one that I think got close?
Okay,
I don't know how far you want to go with this.
I'm going to tell them to stop, and then I want you to give them a hint.
Okay,
and then we'll start them back up. Okay.
So this is the shoe. Sorry, this is the shoe. This is a brand logo, and this is also supposed to be a brand logo. To give a hint to as a collab here.
Okay, so I started it again. We got that it's a collab.
The shoe has little squiggly lines on the sides.
Squiggly lines. This is one of the brands. You guys know what that must be. And then we got this being, was it Van Gogh Vans?
It was not, no.
Travis Scott.
Still a dead beaver.
Still a dead beaver. You're making a fool of us, Dalton. To be honest, I'm the closest, an elephant. Crocs? I think the top part is a Nike sign, or is that supposed to be a Van sign?
I think that you are correct.
Okay, the top part is a Nike. It's a Nike collab with something with a circle, you guys.
This is a brand that you are very, very much a fan of.
Is it Nike and come on, guys. It might be the letter G.
It's not an official collab.
Is it the letter G?
It is the letter G.
Come on, guys. Someone said Off-Whites. Nope. It's a Nike and a Nike Gucci.
Yes. Do you want him to get more specific than that? But that's correct.
Okay. We got Nike, Gucci Nikes is what Trevor said.
Yeah.
Nike, Gucci, Little Miss Q says. Gucci says Jill.
I mean, we could go to the only other thing that they could say is the model of Nike.
What type of, I got to know about these.
I think that if I gave any other hint besides just the squiggles on the side, it would kind of be a giveaway.
There's squiggles on the side. What kind of Gucci Nikes were these, guys?
They weren't
Air Force Ones?
No, they're not fabric. They're not leather.
So it's like one of those sock shoe things.
No, it's not those. I'm trying not to just give it away.
Dunks?
It's not Dunks. It's not suede.
Suede?
No. It's a more expensive. It's kind of a hype shoe.
Nike and Gucci, and what's the last word? Cowboy boots. Tim says Sherpa, Trash Panda phone. Cashmere?
I'll give one more hint for the people that follow me. I bought a. I feel like if I say this, Drew's probably going to get it right away. Should I
It's
go ahead and
okay.
give
Drew
the hint?
needs a drink too.
All right. So I bought a pair of this
A
model of
guy?
shoes. No, off of Mercari for $700, hoping that they were real. Zach just guessed it.
Zach got it
Well,
first. Oh,
yep. Drew got it. Drew got
Drew
it
got
first.
phone posit. So you found a pair of Gucci Nike phone posits?
Yes. So I actually bought them from a follower on Instagram. I paid $50, and I think last week I can find a comp. I think they sold for $200. But I know Zach was the first person to put Gucci in the chat. I don't know who put
Okay.
Nike.
I'm gonna DM a drink to Drew and to Zach for getting phone posits and Gucci and all of these things. And Tim says it was rigged.
There it is.
Distressed Gucci Nikes.
For $199.
Oh, wow. So how much did you pay for these? You said you bought them off of a viewer?
Yeah, I bought them from a follower for $50, and they sold for $200. I did have them listed for like 3 months though.
But it wasn't an official Nike Gucci collab?
No, but it wasn't an official collab. The color, I'll get a bigger picture of them. They just have the like the Gucci colorway with the red and the green. And if you look them up on StockX or Goat, they are listed as the Gucci foam posits, but it's not an official collab.
Oh, gotcha. So we might not, the logo's not there, but they're red and green.
Yes.
Gotcha. So that's what people like refer to them as, the Gucci. So Carlo.
Okay. Trevor was right. I did forget. Trevor was the first person to put in the chat Gucci Nikes. He put both of them.
He put both of them on there. Hang on, I'm writing him down too. All these guys need some drinks. He said, I'll pretend I wasn't the first to say Gucci Nike. I have to send Trevor something because I asked for his address to send his wife something and I still haven't mailed it. So I'm sorry. Tell your wife that it's in the mail. I have something to mail my parents that I haven't mailed either. By the Bayou says that your drawing was terrible.
It was. I will 100% agree with that. It was awful. I would have never gotten Nike Gucci foam posits from that.
I have never tried to do this myself. So can you tell Carla what foam posits are?
Yeah, it's just this. I just lost it. Yeah,
here's what they are. So ugly, but they sell well.
The material that they're made of is like a foam material.
That's gotcha. Like. Now, do they have the same type of deterioration issues that shape ups do since they're foam?
No, I don't believe so. I don't think it's that type of foam. It's like a harder, like molded foam.
I think Drew, my husband Drew, had 2 pair of Nikes from like being a teenager, and he sold them before I was a reseller over on eBay. And I want to say 1 pair of them might have been foam posits because they looked a lot like that. He got over $100 a piece for them, but knowing what I do now, I'm like, we definitely could have got more than that.
Especially now, yeah.
Carissa would not have guessed your art in a million years. You should auction your art off. That's what I should have people auction their art after being on the show.
I'll post it tonight after the live.
Nice. At least, Tim said he's glad that the less fortunate won this one. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Drew says, Trevor, you've won enough. Trevor's actually the best at Pictionary. He knows what everyone's drawing. Like there was one of them, I swear it looked like half of a squiggly bear, and he got it like right out the gate. Should do a screenshot of all the drawings and turn them into some sort of worthless collage. I'd bet none of the guests even still have theirs. Matt wants to know if he was wrong saying that your drawing looked like a stroke.
I think you're spot on.
Trevor, it's okay. Now she'll be really surprised knowing or thinking, what in the world is it that she wants to send me? It's not a coloring page, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Biggest shape ups are the best shoes ever. Oh man, someone screenshot that real quickly for Instagram. I'm just gonna take a picture of it, right? Someone screenshot that. Surely someone can. That we can. He's gonna go up there and delete it before we can now. Christopher says he's out here walking his dog and he's just randomly laughing. Yeah, I wish you could have seen that drawing, Christopher. Then you really would have been laughing. Anyway, so tell me, was there anything this week that happened that wasn't just bad, but was outright ugly? Do you have any ugly stories? Did anyone try to scam you out of $2,000 or anything?
I didn't get scammed this week. And the ugly that came to my mind was something on my
Wait,
part.
wait, wait.
Uh-huh.
Will you please start doing merch and make that the saying on the t-shirt? I didn't
What
get
is
scammed this week.
it? That's funny.
That
Yeah.
should be such a reseller shirt.
Hey, that's a good week in my book.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
What was I saying? So, okay, so my ugly this week is something that the one thing that I'm really bad at is when I'm out sourcing, I'll pick up shoes without laces because I have a bunch of laces that I can add to the shoes myself. And then I'll also pick up like shoes that are a little bit more valuable if they have like a little separation that I can fix with some super glue. But the thing is, I never do it. So since it's just that extra step, that's the only death pile I have is shoes that either need laces or need a little bit of super glue on the sole or something, and they'll just sit in IKEA bag out of sight, out of mind for the longest time. Like 3 or 4 months ago, I told myself that I'm done doing this. I took all the shoes and just went and redonated them to Goodwill. I just wanted them out of my house. And then as of today, I'm back up to a whole IKEA bag full of laceless shoes. And
you know why? Because you didn't make yourself deal with that. You should have been like, listen, my punishment is to have to deal with this. You took the easy way out.
I'm going to deal with these. These ones aren't getting redonated. But
listen, I want you guys to next week at this time, text Dalton over on Instagram and be like, show me your IKEA bag. Just leave just that.
Honestly, I need that. I need that.
He needs accountability, guys. I know that you can help support another reseller and break his bad habit. I'm gonna try to remember that to text you and say, show me your IKEA bag. You're gonna get that message and be like, I don't know what she talking.
Completely forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but when multiple people start messaging you that, then you'll know. First of all, hang on. Tracy says that we should all make these drawings into NFTs, which sounds like a fantastic idea. And Matt says not all resellers need a beard. Some of us are follically challenged. It might just be you have a lot of like Native American blood in you or something, Matt. I don't know. I don't have a beard really. I just like to say that I do. Send Dalton some laces. You have laces.
Just read that. Nobody sent me. I have so many laces. I have the laces. I just hate lacing shoes.
So when you buy laces though, like I will go buy, everything's $1 and buy some laces, but then the second I'm putting those in shoes, I'm like, you are so cheap. These feel like trash. So do you specifically go buy Kiwi or will you put Dollar Tree laces in?
I won't put Dollar Tree laces in. No, I do specifically buy Kiwi, and I've just, every time I go to Walmart, not every time obviously, because I have plenty of laces right now, but if I need laces, I'll just go to Walmart and I will literally buy everything that they have.
So my thrift store for a long time had a whole box of Kiwi laces for $1.
I sometimes look out for that, but like I said, my thrifting is just so like laser focused that I'm just going to the shoes, I'm checking the shoes and I'm checking out. Like I don't really have time to check other sections. But
could we send you Velcro if you promise not to use the word in your listings?
I mean, I would never, I will never use that in my listing. That is
a new reseller challenge. Everyone mail Joey a pair of shape ups. So it's funny talking about Velcro reminds me, I told you I'm like a Lego fan. And people don't understand that the plural of Lego, there's no like plural. Lego is the brand. So you could say like Lego pieces. And I use Velcro to explain that. So if you had like a box of Velcro pieces, you would never say like, hand me that box of Velcros. Like you know how stupid that sounds when you said Velcros because it's the brand and they're like pieces of Velcro or Velcro pieces or like so Lego is the same way. If people would just remember that and not say Legos.
I feel like there's a lot of brands like that, like Sharpie. Sharpie's a brand. You can't have Sharpies.
Yeah, like Post-it notes.
Post-it notes, yeah.
Yeah, Post-its. Post-it is a brand, yeah. But so Lego, people say Legos a lot. I think I'm gonna put out a video about how to resell Lego and like how to know if it's authentic and stuff, because I see so many people posting like Mega Blocks and knockoff and claiming that they have Lego in their listing. Do you think that would be a good video idea?
Yeah. Do you think that there's like search benefits of not using the word Legos in your listing? Like, do you think that actual Lego collectors that are looking for like bulk Legos, do you think they're searching for like Lego lot and not just Legos plural?
I think that I would probably still search Legos because I'd want to be I would want to find Lego that are for sale from someone that doesn't know any better because they might be a better deal.
That makes sense. That makes
And
sense.
then Lego will still pop up because it's like part of that word. Because that's been my experience anyway, is like say the word, I don't know. I don't know what a good example would be, but if you use like a long word, then any part of that word is gonna pop up
Mhm.
also, like an
Yeah, for
abbreviation
sure.
or something. Does that make sense?
I think you're right about that.
So yeah, I'd probably still search Legos, but I have so many right now. Like I bought another probably 60 pounds from Marcus Dixon this year, and I probably bought 100 pounds earlier last year.
Is that for you personally?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You should see.
are you creative and just build whatever, or are these sets?
No, those were all loose. And so
Okay.
like the kids play with loose Lego also. My oldest son does sets, and then like my husband will get me Lego sets for like my birthday or anniversary. Like he'll buy me Lego flowers.
Mm.
That's what's on my dining room table is like a Lego bouquet.
I've seen that on your story or something.
Yeah, and then so I wish I like I need to sit down and just be creative with them, but it's one of those things like I need to make more time to do that.
Right.
They're all sitting there organized by color. Yes, that would be something I would watch, Rachel. I don't know a lot about Lego. So, yeah, maybe I'll put out a video to tell people like where to look for on a Lego piece because every single one of them says Lego somewhere.
Mm.
Everyone. If you cannot find the word Lego, then it is not.
Mm.
I mean, you'd have to be like pretty old and by that they're all little yellow faces and stuff and pretty easily identifiable, you know, if like a minifigure head doesn't say it or something. Do you sell a lot of Lego?
Me?
Hmm.
No, I don't think I ever have.
No Lego shoes at all?
No, I know Lego shoes. I have been looking for those the collab they did with Adidas. Those are pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, I tried to get them like on their release. The little kids ones are so cool. And then my youngest son had a pair of Lego Crocs there for a while. Those were pretty cool.
And last time I was at Disney Springs. They have a specific Lego store, and they have these Adidas that are actually like it's like a Lego set. I really want to buy
Uh-huh.
that. It's
Yeah.
Lego shoes.
I saw those. Someone had one on Poshmark, and it has like the blue box, and then you take it out, and it's like the white and black Adidas. Yeah, I'm surprised that my son didn't want that because he's a huge Adidas fan, and he's like an insane Lego fan. Like he wants to work for Lego one day. Is
Oh,
there a Lego Jordan?
I'm sure there is. I'm not sure. I
My
haven't
mom
seen
said I'm super creative. Carissa says that she wants the Lego Adidas also. I saw them in Target recently. Whoops, I just highlighted everything. Saw them in Target recently, the Lego Adidas. Yeah, I saw that Target has an entire line of Lego stuff out right now. So speaking of like retail stores, since your shoes only, do you do a lot of retail arbitrage? You go to like Nike outlets or anything like that?
Not a whole lot. Especially Nike outlets around me is just like really competitive, and I don't find it to be super consistent. Um, I do like Ross and Burlington and Marshalls every now and then, but it's 90% thrifted.
Gotcha. James is here. Just wanted to take a second to say hi to James, and he just picked up a bunch of Lego in his latest video. So I'm gonna have to check that out because I want to see what he got. The Lego Ultra Boost are sick. There are some really cool Lego shoes. I saw recently, like last year, was your first trip to Disney World?
No,
It wasn't?
no, it wasn't. Drew, I think there was some confusion on Drew's story because he put like Dalton's first time at Disney, but it was my
I
first time.
literally thought it was.
Yeah, it was my first time since getting my pass back because
Oh,
they went a
that's
whole
like
year because of COVID. They weren't selling annual passes, and I just let mine expire right before COVID hit. So
gotcha. Yeah, that's like I posted a happy 40th birthday to Joey the other day, and a lot of people now think he's 40. So it was Drew's fault that everyone thought that was your first trip to Disney.
yeah, I was Drew's fault.
Have you been to Legoland?
I haven't. And literally right after I said I do Ross and all that, I knew the comment section was gonna light that up. So
They are so immature.
I see
Yeah,
that.
look at them. They're all cracking up over here. You are children. When
Yeah.
I was coming down here, I said, because I do my lives from the basement, I looked at my youngest son, I was like, behave yourself for dad. And I looked at my husband, I was like, behave yourself in the chat. Like, who knows what he's going to say. Yeah, I should have said that the 22 stands for 1922. I can't believe that you haven't been to Legoland yet, especially since you're such good friends with Drew. He hasn't
Yeah,
dragged
he
you over
hasn't
there.
sent me an invite. You know, you'd think since we're such good friends that he would invite me one day, but no.
T really thought Joey was 40. No, he just turned 25. I just was being funny. And then everyone's like, wow, I can't believe he's 25 or he's 40. And I was like, he moisturizes and he's got that Italian blood. Like, yeah, that's nice. Anyway, I held back. They all heard that. I didn't.
Everybody probably heard it. I heard it when I said it. I kind of paused after I said it. And I was like, I know what's coming.
That's hilarious. Anyway, what do you have coming up on your channel? Can you tell everyone about the series that you're doing right now in case they haven't checked it out? Because I feel like it's really, really interesting and it's something cool. Like I said, you know, to my son that he needs to watch this tonight because he's interested in flipping shoes. And what you're doing in your series is something anyone, even if they're not a reseller, could get behind. Will you explain it?
Yeah. So I called the series From the Closet to Profit. And basically, I just started a reselling business from absolutely nothing. I just took 2 shoes out of my closet and then sold them online for a profit. That's where I kind of got the name. And I'm on episode, I think Monday is going to be episode 10. And in that 10 weeks, so I do 1 episode every week. In that 10 weeks, I've done over, I think, $2,500 in sales. My last episode was this week, and I went over all the sales that we did so far since it was a new year. So it's really just show how fast you can grow a reselling business. And I think that there's a lot of like little nuggets in there when you can pick up the brands that I'm picking up, because everything that I'm picking up, I'm showing in the series, and every sale that I get, I'm showing in the series. And I'm even showing, like, if I pick up a shoe that has flaws, I'll show that on camera. So, you know, not to, or to know what to look for when you're outsourcing. And it's 100% focused on shoes. So I think it would be a good resource to learn the shoe category.
And your most recent one, you even address like taking out for taxes. I know you said that that's not something you're going to address in every video, but just so folks know, you know, to set aside something for taxes. But you did something else in the most recent video, or maybe it was the one before that, where you were really like checking out the shoes very, very well before you decided to purchase them. And I am so guilty of getting excited about a pair of shoes, getting home and realizing a chunk is taken out of the sole is separated. Like, I have a pair down here right now. These, let me show you these Nikes that I found.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would you have picked up something like this suede boot?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then I get home and realize that it's separated here. Do you see that?
I think that specific Nike, I think they're ACGs. That sole that they have on them is one of the soles that dry rots, because in the Closet to Profit series, I found a pair of those and I had to put them back because the sole was cracked.
These were $5. And I did think, I was like, these are kind of soft. So I kind of dragged my finger on it without dragging my nail on it. And it doesn't seem like it's dry rotted, but it's separated from, so I should just like trash these.
I'm the same way though. I'll get excited about pairs and get home and realize that too. I mean, in the series, I bought a pair of FootJoys and I brought them home, and when I went to list them, like, they were clearly, the bottom had clearly dried out and they cracked right in half when I twisted them. So yeah, I mean, you can even learn from my mistakes through the series.
So do you have a pair of shoes nearby that you could show me, like, what's the biggest things that you check for? Like, obviously everyone does this bend test and we do the twist test, but like, what areas are you going over all the time?
Yeah, I'll grab a pair of shoes.
Then maybe I can be better at this, because can you guys believe I did this? I mean, these were $5. That's actually the top of the price at where, like, I just burned $5. I could have bought someone a drink.
So when I see the shoes sitting on the shelf, obviously you're looking for the brands that you know. So if you when I see a brand that I know that I like to pick up, I just pick them up and look at the tread. First things that I check is the tread. If the tread's not good, I'll put them back. Obviously this is all like on a good day if I'm remembering to check everything. But then I will check the sizes on both of them, because that's another thing that I miss a lot. Is sometimes I'll get home and there'll be 2 different sizes, or the size tag will be just non-existent. So I'll check for the size tag. I'll check and make sure that they have insoles. I will do that little twist test. If the soles look like they are like shiny, that's another thing that I didn't realize when I first started, is they can dry out and harden. And if they're really shiny and like they're hard as a rock, you might as well leave them behind, because they've lost their tread. They're probably going to crack under the weight of somebody's foot. And then just twist them. I also pinch the top part, because a lot of times the separation can happen right here. So I think that's pretty much it. Also, just because I have these Brooks right here, a lot of the times the tread will separate right here. So it's kind of brand specific and shoe specific. Since I've looked at so many of them, I know the common flaws, but usually that's it. Just look at the tread, make sure the sizes are the same, make sure they have insoles, and there's no tears around here.
Will you buy shoes that have no insoles, especially running shoes?
Sometimes, especially if they're running shoes. That's the one exception, because a lot of people put their own insoles in them. So if it's like a higher end model, like I just sold a pair of New Balance 990s a couple weeks ago that didn't have insoles. And I also have a bunch of extra insoles if I want to stick a pair of insoles in them, but 9 times out of 10, I'll pass on them.
I will, any of my like long distance shoes, I have a pair of insoles that I move from like shoe to shoe, and I'm going to rebuy that insole because like I need that extra in like a really long distance shoe. But something with like have you found a whole lot of carbon plate shoes recently? Like my carbon plate shoes, I don't add an insole. But I feel like that's something that we're going to start seeing more of. And if people don't know what to look for in a pair of carbon fiber plate shoes, then they could miss out on really big sales because they're incredibly expensive. And then they might pick up something that's damaged, not even knowing it. Have you found a lot yet, or any?
You might be teaching me something. I don't think so.
Sure. So Nike did it first with, I think it was their Next Percent, the shoes that got banned. Really, they had 2 carbon fiber plates in the shoe, and that's what's banned now because it was working as like a spring system. So currently Hoka has a pair, Adidas, like I have a pair of Hokas and a pair of Adidas with the carbon fiber plate in there. It just runs the length of the shoe. I'll kind of show you where, just between the actual shoe and the sole. Like you have to know if they are so expensive. I'm talking like some of them are $200 plus a pair for a pair of running shoes. And if the tread, like you say, is still good, you're still going to see those types of prices even on eBay. Because when I was looking to buy a pair, I couldn't find even a used pair that was under like $150, it seemed like.
And is this carbon plate something you can see?
You should not see it. That's what I'm saying with with my Hokas. I wore those. I don't feel like I wore those very long at all. And the whole point of the plate is to make you faster. And with the particular pair of Hokas was sprung upwards so that you would be like a 4-foot striker. And the 4-foot wore so bad here that you can see the carbon fiber plate.
Wow.
Those would never be worth picking up. So yeah, if there's anywhere on the sole that you see, I mean, you know what carbon fiber looks like. It looks like that checkerboard, you know.
Well, is the Hoka's called the Hoka Carbon X?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know of that model. I just didn't realize that's why it was called carbon.
Yeah, because they're carbon fiber shoes. So it was funny. I wanted those, but I wouldn't buy them. And I ended up going with the Adidas that had a carbon plate in them because they were cheaper, because I just couldn't pull the trigger on the Hokas. And they came in and my husband was just kind of like, oh, okay. And I was like, he just seemed like he was almost annoyed that I bought these shoes. I know they were expensive, but that's really unlike him, because he's usually the one buying me expensive things. And then 2 days later, I find out why he was acting like that, because he had ordered me the Hokas. So they come in and I actually loved them so much more that I've only wore the Adidas like 4 or 5 times. Like,
I mean, you'll probably wear both of them. So
yeah, I wore the Hokas until you can see the plate. I still wear them every once in a while if it's a very short run. But I missed a lot in the chat over here. But Ed, the reselling writer, says, I think I've heard about that carbon plate. Didn't they ban them from the marathon when Nike made a specific model? Yeah, the ones with, like I say, 2 plates, those are not allowed, because it was crazy. Like all the records were being beat.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
It's just, you know, when it gives a clear unfair advantage. The Flippin' Sports guys here. Hey, Paul. Carissa just sent me more money. She sent me a super chat, $25. Did y'all know that you need to hit the thumbs up? And Trevor says, my husband sounds like a jerk. He is. I tell you, he's the MVP. Thank you again, Carissa. I'm sorry. I don't know if I clearly said thank you, but I really appreciate you a lot. That was very appreciated. You don't have to do that, but thank you. I wish every reseller had a Drew in their life. You do, but not my Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other day he bought me this new shelf. You know, we use like the industrial shelves, and he got me some of those for Christmas. And then he set it up for me in the laundry room. And then I'm in there, and of course I'm finding something to complain about. And I'm like, it's so dark over here. Well, then last night, I think it was, he's like, Rachel, come down here. And he's like, I set up a light for you over the top of these shelves. And I'm just like, I don't deserve this, man.
Yeah, that's so nice.
He makes everything about my life so much easier.
Me a Drew like that. My Drew is not like that at all.
No, he doesn't do stuff like that for you.
Sure doesn't.
He wants you to tell everyone about those fake $700 shoes.
Did we talk about that? No.
Briefly that you.
Yeah, I bought a pair of Nike Foamposites. I can't remember the collab. They were Paranorman. It's a Netflix show that came out, but when the show came out, they released 700 pairs of this specific shoe and they raffled them off. Or they didn't raffle them off. You had to submit an entry on Twitter and show like your Halloween costume or something, and they just randomly picked 700 people and gave the shoes to them. So they're a really, really sought after shoe for people that collect Foamposites. They resell for probably like $3,000 pre-owned. So I seen them on Mercari for $700, which was like just enough to make you think that they could be real.
Sure.
And the person just didn't know the market, because sometimes you'll see those like really expensive shoes for a couple $100, and that's obviously it's too good to be true. So I seen those for $700, and Mercari has a good return policy for authentication. So I went ahead and took the risk. He sent them to me. I sent them through CheckCheck, the CheckCheck app, where you just take pictures of them and they will authenticate them for you there. And CheckCheck said that they were fake, but CheckCheck's not 100% positive all the time. So I also took them to a place locally, and it cost me $20 to have them authenticated there. And he said they were fake as well. So I sent them back, got my money back. It was worth the risk, in my opinion. I was only out $20 for getting them authenticated, but I think it was worth the risk.
I'm glad that you said that I was worth the risk, because that's one thing. And we were talking about it, but we were talking about it behind the scenes before we got started on the live. And because we were talking about how, like in my recent video where we took a $2,000 risk on sneakers, like there was a little bit of hate about taking that risk, but it's just like what you just said. It was worth taking the risk. And then the bigger risk would have been not buying them. Mm-hmm. Because then you would always have in the back of your head, what if they were real? What if those were $3,000 shoes?
Right.
Like, don't go take out a loan for $700 to buy a pair of shoes. But if you have $700 and you can invest it and you don't mind it being tied up until you decide whether or not the deal is solid, then yeah, I would do that. Smitty, we're glad that you tuned in tonight. Time for me to go, but this was really helpful for shoes. Already went and subscribed to Dalton. Have a great evening, guys. We really appreciate that you're here. Are you going to show Patricia the best shoe trees?
Yes, I thought you skipped over it, but I just have one. It's Angelus.
Okay. I didn't even know they made shoe trees specifically for trying to paint.
There's the company that makes paint, and these will last a long time. And they just changed their design. I have an older one right now just because they take forever to break, but I got a new set in, and they turn this all into one piece, because typically it breaks right there because it comes apart and that little spring right there will break. But the newer models, it's all one piece. So I don't like looking at it. It looks more sturdy than this one. Obviously they changed it for a reason. So anyway, Angelus, they're like $7 on Amazon.
That's pretty cool. $7. I wonder if I can get them $7 from someone other than Amazon. We're just buying like the $5 ones from Walmart. And my son wants shoe trees, and he said he wanted them so that when he cleans the sneakers that I buy, because he gets $5 for cleaning dirty shoes for me, that he doesn't have to stick his hand in there to clean them. Yeah. But then I'm like, no, he wants them for his shoe collection.
Right. Yeah,
I know why he wants them.
I don't personally put shoe trees in when I'm cleaning, but I know that's something you're supposed to do.
Yeah, he is so meticulous. I'm telling you. Have you ever seen a 15-year-old come home from school, take off his shoes, and get a toothbrush out?
Oh, I haven't, but I don't doubt it. I sometimes watch I think it's Reshoevinator's YouTube. They just do restorations, and it's, I kind of get into it. I like watching it.
Can you show the shoe tree again?
Yep. Angelus.
Angelus is the brand. And I did miss this question, Drew. I'm sorry. Dalton, what does your personal shoe collection look like? That's a cool question.
Yeah, it's nothing to write home about. You're
not boring, are you?
No, I mean, I wear Converse quite a bit lately. So I have a couple pair of Converse. I have 2 pairs of Yeezys. I like Yeezys. They're comfortable, but I don't think they go well with everything. It's kind of like if I'm wearing sweats or shorts, I'll wear Yeezys. But I have a couple pair of Yeezys, Converse, and then some just like generic Nikes. I have a pair of Asics. Nothing crazy.
What Yeezys do you like?
The 350s V2. I also want a pair of the 700 V2s. The ones that I don't want the Wave Runners, but that same style. They've come out with some colorways recently that I really want.
My son just ordered the belugas, and I think they're going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I really want a new pair.
Yeah, and I guess it's the version 2 of those. Scott said that we skipped his clown shoes. I guess they haven't sold clown shoes. So note professional, really professional shoe sellers. So yeah, Scott did sell a pair of clown shoes, and you have to remind me, Scott, how much you sold those for. I remember them being kind of a big deal. He said, just text her or yell downstairs. What are you laughing at? Did I miss something?
No, Drew commented and said Dalton has a nice collection of teaks. It's kind of an inside joke with us.
I see that. So it's funny because when you were talking about what to check for shoes, I almost said, now, since you sell a lot of women's shoes, one thing that you do need to check for is to make sure that they are a left and a right, especially with teaks. Because I got home with like, I don't know, what did I get that day? 5 pair of teaks. Is this insane? 5 pair at the same store for $4 a pair.
I've never in my life found teaks. Yeah.
So I was like geeking out about those. And then I realized that the black pair is like 2 left shoes or 2 right. Who cares? And I was like, no, in that condition, I could have got $60 for those. And I was so mad about it. I was like, I'm still getting $60. So I made 2 listings for $30 a piece. And I'm proud to say I sold both of those. 1 shoe for $30. So I still got my $60 out of those teaks.
I didn't. I just had that happen last month. I went to a thrift store and they had a whole bunch of new with tags Toms for $7 a piece. So it's definitely not no teaks, but there were a bunch of them. And when I got home, one of them was 2 left feet or 2 right feet or one of the other. Unfortunately, you can't really sell Toms as one shoe because the match sells for like $25.
Well, here's the deal. When I sold the last teak, it was to a man. So I think I found a new market for barefoot shoes, Toms included.
I will say that has to do with me and Drew's inside joke with his
I'm
comment.
sure you and your teaks. Scott says that he sold the clown shoes for $105.
That's awesome.
Nice. And Trevor said, guess who's here, you guys? Give her a warm welcome. It's Lindsay, 10th Street Market's wife.
That's fun.
That is hilarious. That's the best screen name ever. And he, as if we didn't know, he says, that's my wife. Speaking of wives, you told me nothing was off topic tonight, or like off. There was nothing I couldn't talk about. Yeah. Did you meet another nice church girl?
Not yet. I'm still waiting.
Good grief. If you guys went to like church camp with anyone that you want to set Dalton up with, I mean, there's gotta be some good girl out there to hang out. No teaks for Scott. Teaks is an item that we're still hoping to find. I have found a lot of teaks, you guys, but I'm telling you, teaks does not have the market that Rothy's do.
Really?
Oh my gosh. I always get more for Rothy's, I feel like. I mean, teaks are good. And they're, between $60 to $100. And Drew sold that one pair for over $200 because they were like a rare colorway.
Right.
But I sold a pair of Rothy's that I bought for $4 for $432. Oh
my goodness. What was the design on them?
So they were red, pointy toe, and they had a white stripe like across the but they had the white stripe. That was what was important.
That's the one. Yeah, I've seen that one. I've never found it, but
I had no idea that they were rare, and I listed them for $75 on eBay and $75 on Poshmark, and they sold like that. And I was like, what do I do? And then some kind Poshmark seller messages me and goes, honey, no, don't send those shoes out. And I was like, so I canceled both orders. And one person was like, my sister recently had to cancel her wedding because of the sickness. And it would mean the world to her if you would just send me these shoes. And I was like, I think I'm going to cancel this order. I was like, it's worth taking the ding. So I put them up on auction and they sold for $432.
That's insane.
It is insane. They're like brand new $160.
It's also insane that someone just randomly messaged you and told you that they were worth that.
Isn't that nice?
Very nice, yeah.
I know. It takes a whole village to help me learn how to resell. Drew apparently has a nice collection of shoes, but that's his inventory. This is a death file.
That was good.
She just created that account to join the chat. I hope I'm here I hope I see her here every single time. And Drew's just excited that she's real. Welcome, Lindsay. We're happy that you're here. We're just a crazy group of people. You might not want to hang out with us on Friday nights. Josie Josie says she's out of here, and I must have skipped over her message before because that's the first one that I saw. Did you message before, Josie? But I'm glad that you're here, Josie, and I'm glad that you've been here. I'm sure that you have been. This chat's kind of moving fast tonight. These people are excited to see you.
I guess.
Teeks and Rothy's at the bins on the same day. Isn't that awesome?
Especially the bins. That's great.
The pair of Rothy's I found the other day, I walked into the thrift store and I had already been there the day before, and it's just my little small town one thrift store that we have in this town. So I wasn't even going to go in there, but then some work ran long and I needed to go pick up my kids, and it didn't make sense for me to drive all the way across town and go back to my house just to drive across town again. So I was like, I'll stop in at the thrift store. So it's like 2:45 in the afternoon when those pair of Rothy's is sitting there.
That's awesome.
Like they'd been there all day. So, and shoes were on sale before I got in there.
Wow.
They were, did I say $2? Yeah, I think they were $2. And they had been on sale all day and no one bought them.
That's awesome. I've only ever found like maybe 3 pairs of Rothy's. There's actually one of the Goodwills in my area has had a fake pair of Rothy's behind the glass counter for a couple months now.
So do they say made in the USA underneath the thing or made in America? That's like one of the biggest ways you can tell that they're
right. So the tag, they're pretty worn and you can't see the tag, but you can tell they're fake because of the stitching. Like the logo's touching the circle and there's a bunch of stitching loose underneath the insole.
Yeah. That's a shame. It really is. I hate to see fake stuff like that. And like I saw a fake vintage Coach bag when I was in there and I almost bought it just to get it off the market because I was like, here is somebody's going to buy this for $5 and be so excited. And then I also thought like I could buy it like to show people why it's not real. Like, do you ever buy fake stuff just to get it off the market?
Not really. No. I think that if you, I think the video idea you said is a good idea though, using that fake stuff to actually show people because it's really hard, like researching the authenticity of shoes on your own because 9 times out of 10 it's just people explaining and they don't have an actual example. So
yeah, to not actually have the product. I've destroyed a pair of fake Louboutins that I got from Matt Easy. He figured they were fake. And I was like, well, what if they're real? Because I told him I wanted to buy them off of him. And I was like, what if they're real? He's like, then enjoy them because they were the ones that I've been looking for and in my size. And man, I opened those up and I was like, these are the fakest thing I ever felt in my life. So I destroyed him in the video. I told him that I was going to title the video, Matt Easy sold me fake Louboutins. But I didn't do that. We both knew that they were probably fake, but it made for a good video. I think Trevor met his wife at church camp, so there's hope for you, Dalton.
Just need to go back to camp. I haven't been to church camp since I was little.
Just the church that you're involved in, just volunteer to take the youth and you'll be fine. Unless they see you as a weirdo, then don't do that.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Well, I'm super excited that you agreed to join me tonight. I think that everyone really learned some things tonight. I mean, we talked a little bit about good, bad, and ugly, but more than anything, like I learned a lot about shoes. So I don't know, maybe you need to go live on your own channel. Have you ever considered doing a live and talking about shoes?
Oddly enough, I am thinking about going live, but it's not to talk about anything. I've found this new obsession with productivity sessions on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And specifically, I posted this on my story a while back, and I just bought a camera specifically for this, and it just came in. So this is something I'm going to be doing soon. And basically, the channel that I found just does live streams of him studying, and they're just called Study With Me, and they're like 3 hours long. And I thought it was dumb at first because he doesn't say a single word throughout the whole thing. But then I'll put it on while I'm cleaning shoes, and it increases my productivity because it's not distracting like a TV show. And every time I look up, it's just this guy working, and it just makes me work too. So I think I'm going to start going live while I'm like photographing or cleaning for like 2 hours, and you guys can work with me. So be on the lookout for that.
This is genius. This is a really easy way to get some watch time too, and some views. Yeah. I would tune in because that is really when I consume the most reseller content is when I'm in here listing. Like I know every Monday night I'm going to be listing because I'm watching Joey and Drew. Like I know what time throughout the week. Like on Monday, I won't even list throughout the day because I know I'm going to be doing that night. Right. So that's interesting. That's really a cool idea. That's what Abel says. That's interesting. So,
it might not work. It might work, but like you said, it's the easiest content out there. So we'll give
It couldn't be any easier. And if it doesn't work, then you tried to do it. But I think that it's an idea that other people would get behind as well.
Yeah.
My trouble would be staying quiet. I'd be looking up and talking to people. Like, are you going to disable chat?
I mean, the way I'll have it set up is I don't think I'll be able to see the screen. Like, I'll just get the camera set up where it needs to be, and it'll be focused on my photograph spot, and then my computer screen is just out of vision. So I don't think I'll be able to.
Tim just said that he'll tune in. He said he's gonna, if he's not already subscribed to your channel, he's going to just for that.
He said television or Dalton ignoring chat choices.
No, he said he loves the idea. I don't know where you're reading that. He said it's great. Anyway, we appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us, and definitely enjoyed all the comedic relief tonight. So God bless you guys. I will see you next Friday. We're right back on schedule. This lady right here is my guest next week, and to my knowledge, this will be her YouTube debut. Like, wow. We're gonna be going over this week what she needs to join me on StreamYard.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, you guys have to tune in though, because she finds some incredible stuff. Like, I would compare her finds to like what the Cha-Ching King finds, really unique vintage stuff that I love. So you guys have to be in the chat next week to meet Tracy and say hello to her. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Lindsay says she's looking forward to it. She's got her account all set up now. And we appreciate you guys so much. So God bless you. Treat your business like your business. Bye.
Bye.